So imagine this, yeah?
Yeah.
Get your thinking caps on, boys.
Always on. Come on.
Imagine a field, a quaint field with 2 train tracks running through. One track diverges into 2. A trolley is on this track. You are standing at the fork of the tracks with a lever. On one track, there are 5 people strapped to it. And then on the other track, there's 1 person strapped to it. You have the ability to switch the track that the trolley is going down, and the trolley will kill the people on either track. Right now, so it's heading towards the track with 3 people on it. You also have the ability to not change the course of the track. Would you change the track to 1 person or keep it on 3 people? You have a form of culpability, but what do you guys think?
1 person.
1 person? Why?
Now here's the way I see it.
Yeah.
Not making a choice is still a choice. You still killed those 3 people.
Yeah.
No, even if you could pretend that you didn't, but you did. Like, you had the choice to save them, and it wasn't even like you had to go to far lengths. You just literally had to do something incredibly simple. You killed those 3 people, even if you just did nothing. That's still a choice. So either way, you're getting your hands dirty. You might as well do it the best thing possible.
So you want your hands are going to get dirty, you just want them to be the least dirty?
Yes.
By killing 1 person? Alright, what do you think, Diego?
Personally, I don't really care
Edgy.
about the whole like dirty or not dirty thing. I mean, when you think about it, it's 1 person or 3 people. Which one's better? Lose 1 person or 3 people? It's kind of
I agree. Like, actually, I would feel like a hero at the end of the day. Honestly, I would feel like, oh, I did the good thing.
I think if you genuinely feel like there would be an issue with you saving the lives of 3 people, the majority instead of the minority, then
there's something wrong.
Greater than the few.
Yeah.
Unless you have unless you have a connection, that's a different story. But if you genuinely if these people mean the same thing to you,
if these are just people,
it is randos. And it's just I think you're objectively in the wrong if you don't decide to go to. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Yeah. Without bias, that's not a joke. You're objectively wrong there.
Even though there's one of the greatest psychological questions is whether or not anyone can actually be truly objective. But yeah, objectively.
No. I agree. I think objectivity is bullshit. That's why I'm objective.
That's what you're objectively. I think objectivity is bullshit.
I objectively think objectivity is bullshit. It's a paradox. It's really good.
All right. Can I ask you why the lives of 3 people are more important than the life of 1?
It's not that they're more important. It's
then
just,
why?
Again, the majority. You lose less.
Okay, here,
lose less of what?
Without let me ask you something. Let me put this way, Dan. Without bias, this is 1 person, that's 3 people, right?
Yeah.
They mean the same exact thing regardless of their money, their skin color, their anything. They're human lives, right?
What is the value of a human life, though? That's what I'm trying to get at.
Because objectively, there is no value. Like, without bias, you can't really.
There's no real value. I mean, it's
literally just numbers, 1 versus 3, and you're destroying one of these. Which one is the better choice? It's just like you can't. If you bring it down to something that simple, it's just clearly the 1's the better option.
Say the 3 were just average bystanders, average plebeians, if you will. And that 1 would somehow later go on to cure cancer.
That doesn't matter. Because no, let's stop. That doesn't matter because that's not relevant.
He can make his own opinion, but this is a different question. Different question.
Okay, so these 3, they will not achieve anything of that kind of.
Depends.
So wait, this is a different question entirely.
It's not entirely a different question. No, they might achieve their own happiness. They won't achieve anything in a greater sense or a magnitude of achieving the cure for cancer. That's a completely different kind of achievement.
No, because
I want to point
the way I see it is like what it kind of like leads into. So you can like save those 3 people, and they can achieve their happiness. That's good. They're happy. That's fine. But if you save that 1 person, then they have the ability to influence multiple other people. Thus, having like a much greater effect than
but
so again, for the greater good is what you're getting.
But if this guy's already on the verge of curing cancer, then so is everyone else. I mean, the way people say it is that when someone's about to invent something, they're 3 seconds ahead of
All right,
everyone.
if you want to use logic, you could also put a rock in front of the trolley, but this isn't the question I'm asking.
Yeah, that's not the question. Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, but you put this into this term, so.
Yeah.
Stop trying to wheedle your way through the question.
no,
Normal. You can't play.
No,
Who are
I
you to
think-
play God?
Okay.
I would still go for the one person because if he's about to fucking cure cancer, then
shut
so
up.
is someone else.
All right, he's been hiding the research for years. He's a freelance physician, and he's fucking insane, but he has the cure for cancer.
So
But it's in a
now the
lockbox.
question
It's
is
in a
that- now
lockbox
the
that
question
in
is-
No,
10
see,
seconds,
you can't-
if he
wait,
doesn't
wait.
type in a phone code, the cure for cancer is going to
Let me just
explode.
tell you something. So wait. So you're saying that if
Just let me
that
play
you're
with this
saying
here.
in this scenario,
Oh my
no
God,
matter
you're the
what,
worst.
that no one else is gonna figure it out.
Well, we'll figure it out just in like
Okay,
a couple hundred
okay.
years.
If you're looking at it
Just
like
when
that,
modern
like,
medicine-
broadly, if you're leaving it like just that open, then it should be pretty difficult to really choose any of them, considering like that would mean that there's also the possibility that those 3 people will cause more harm than they would good if you're
True.
keeping them alive, which would then make it so it's one person's better. But then you can say, oh well, the one person could be the same way. You know, it goes back and forth.
I'm trying to counter Dan's logic. But
No, but the problem is the logic
Countering
that
it
you're
with
using-
more illogic.
Yeah. The
No.
logic
What
that
I'm
you're
saying
using to
is that-
counter.
No, what I'm saying is that it doesn't
has-
matter what. No, let me finish. What I'm saying is that it doesn't matter what that guy's achieved because someone else is probably going to achieve it. So it's still 1v3. It's just about
Still.
the life quantity.
So they will achieve it,
Yeah,
but they'll
no,
just achieve
so,
it
no,
much
the
later.
thing is, like he said,
So
he's
you're
going
so
to
you're
achieve
saying
as
that
it-
it is now a fact that they will achieve it later.
Well, I
much
mean,
later.
it's
Yeah,
if
they're
human
going to
beings
achieve-
will survive,
Okay,
I'm
so
sure
then
they
yeah, I
will.
would go for the 3 people. I would get those.
Yeah, but
3
think
people.
of how many
Okay.
countless people will die of cancer in the
No, that's
time
what I'm
that-
saying. I would get the 3 people killed.
Oh, you're gonna kill the 3 people.
If you're saying it's a fact that the cancer will only be
Yeah.
cured later, then that's a different story.
He could cure it
Entirely.
the next day if he survives. He's on his way to like finish off
Yeah, then that's
his
a different
independent
story.
research.
That's a different story.
All right. Well, either way, you're stupid. Diego,
It's
what are you
just,
saying?
I'm just saying, like with these questions, you have to look at it as just the question itself. Like,
But
Yes
you
or no?
can't though because this is philosophy.
no, okay, I mean it can lead to other things, but you can't just like constantly.
These
expand
questions
on
that
it
I'm
because
asking
then-
are in an isolated bubble. Don't
Yeah.
try to think of it logically in a world point of view.
Because
Just
then
think
you're
of
gonna be
it
involving
on
a lot
what's
of
in
stuff
the
that isn't
original.
necessarily applying to the question.
Alright.
You fucking squandering piece of
I think
code.
my logic was still pretty good, so fuck you all.
Objectively, it was pretty good. All right, let's branch the question. What if those 3 people are your relatives and that one person is your true love?
Oh, jeez.
True love,
Wow.
Why?
because love you can, I guess, move on and find someone else to love. Eventually, you're gonna run out.
Oh,
of
so
family
choose
members.
to kill. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll run out of family members.
No, I think he's saying true love as in like this is your like you're going to die with this person.
Yeah.
I mean,
Either
like,
way, no,
that's
but
what we
either
mean
way,
by
because like
true love, right?
Yeah, sure.
I don't, because like the way I see it
The perfect match for you is on that track.
is like
while 3 of your family members are on the other track.
there are billions of people in the world.
I think this
Right.
question we need to, at least the participants have to have at least experienced love once to fully grasp the magnitude of it.
Yeah. Oh, so I can't do it then.
Well, I mean, I don't think any of us can do it, but
I mean, you guys would be able to answer the question far better.
well, I mean,
I mean-
I can experience like when someone is experiencing true love, their primitive instincts will definitely take over, like the dopamine and all the things.
It
It's,
also-
it's
I
your
mean, like,
evolutionary
which
purpose.
relatives are on that track?
Yeah. All right.
There are far too many factors that
Mother, father, younger brother.
Okay, the fact that you said younger brother changes it, I guess, because like
It's more primitive
might-
things, more protective.
I see it as they have more life to live. Then
Oh,
at that
that's
point, 'cause
another.
that means-
That'll branch me into another question, but yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't necessarily mean a better quality or nothing. but-
This is like this was the same exact choice in Infamous. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Infamous.
Infamous 1.
I don't think I
It
played
was
that one.
like Trish was being like hung up, and there were like 6 like there were 6 like doctors who were like working to like help the city, and like you had to make the good choice. What I don't like that they had the good and evil choice set in stone. The good choice was saving the doctors,
Mhm.
and the evil choice was saving Trish. And and that choice always fucked with me because I was going the good way and I had to kill Trish, which made me so sad. It was a really interesting decision. Not sure if you guys ever played Infamous.
No, but I can imagine. I played Second Son, but
Second Son's not very good in my opinion.
it was alright. My first experience. It was a bad game.
The gameplay's kind of fun though.
Yeah, I liked it.
The story was a bit weird though.
Eh. I don't know, cause like with love, like you can always experience love again, you know.
Yeah, but your brain wouldn't see it that way. You can't think objectively.
I agree. I think that like this is the problem here, Dan. This isn't a logical question as much as it is.
It is a logical question, but if you were in that situation, you wouldn't be.
Yeah,
able
that's
to
what I'm
think
saying.
logically.
Like you wouldn't be able to think logically in that
Yeah.
situation. So I don't think it works on us right now.
Yeah, true love would probably be what an average person would choose.
Yeah, I think. I mean, if I were to, that's probably what would. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know.
It is your evolutionary purpose. Your parents are just there to prepare you for finding a true love, have children, and then if you die, then it's not evolution's problem anymore.
So I just see as. Wait. Okay. So
Parents
wait.
are
Is it like
expendable.
if this true love, if they lived, would it be guaranteed that you would live your life with them?
That's the true love part. Yeah, like
Yeah,
you're
probably.
gonna die with this person, like in your arms.
Ah, okay.
Like you're gonna live with this person forever.
Well then, yeah, family. I get rid of the family because then I don't know.
I'd get rid of the family.
Yeah, have
Whack 'em.
offspring, continue your generation, continue the bloodline. You know.
Ooh, I have a different question.
All right, let's
What?
hear it.
What about you or 3 relatives?
3 relatives. What the heck?
Sacrifice yourself.
Yeah, like you're on the train tracks, but you could change.
No,
So
I mean,
jump
they
in
would
front of
die.
the trolley.
I would live.
You'd save yourself. But...
Okay, you or your true love?
Me, heck them. I may not find love again, but it doesn't mean I won't be happy.
But I feel once
I
you
don't know,
experience love, your brain is going to
That's an
withdraw.
interesting. I don't know. That's a hard question.
I don't know. It's just. I
Like,
may
if it
not
is
like.
true love, you'd want to do anything for them, which would probably be
Okay,
sparing your life.
your favorite anime character. Imagine that being your true love, like your waifu.
There's so many though.
Okay, get
Yeah.
away.
So there are again 2 tracks, 1 trolley, no lever this time. There is 1 person on 1 track, 3 people on the other. The trolley is moving at a slower speed. It's still a terminal speed, but if a large enough object was placed in front of the trolley, it could stop. There happens to be a morbidly obese man standing next to the original track before it diverges. Or sorry. There's just 5 people on a track, sorry, not 2 tracks. There's just 5 people on a track, a slow moving trolley, terminal velocity, and a morbidly obese man standing next to the track. If you kick the morbidly obese man into the track and the trolley hits him, it will stop. And save
And you're saying
5
5
people.
Dude, must be.
This is the same question though.
It is the same question.
It is
But
the
it-
exact same question as before.
It is the same
except for
question, but
even
you have more
severe.
culpability now.
Because you would be pushing them. It's not just a simple pull the lever.
It's a
You're
murder.
actually forcing them.
You would
Yeah,
murder
you're killing
someone to spare 5 people. But technically, if you pull a lever to kill another, it's still murder. It's just a lot
Yeah.
more intimate.
I mean, yeah, I would push the guy.
them. Yeah.
I mean,
One,
this-
because, again, the majority, and 2,
okay, I actually have a
because
different question.
He's a higher chance of
I
Hold
dying.
wouldn't
on,
pushing
before
the
you ask
guy-
that question, I've been
Yep.
told, I was asked these questions during like an ethics class, and each person there were like 5 similar questions, all in a different order. I got the first question I asked you first, and I got this one second. Our teacher told us the people who got the one I just asked you first wouldn't do it. But because you were exposed to the earlier question, it's a lot easier to say you would.
It's not
Really?
even that. I think no matter what situation, I would push that guy.
Yeah, I would have done it.
Like there's
no
that
matter
like I like to think I'm an objective logical
Objectively.
thinker.
Yeah, objectively.
And like I just like I don't know, I would definitely push the guy.
what. Because I'd be
No
applying
matter
the
what.
same. I'd be applying the same logic that I would to the
Like,
other
there's-
people.
Like I don't think I mean like I think that not pushing him is murdering those 5 people. It is. Like I mean it
You
just
could just
it
walk
is.
away.
That is murdering you're murdering those 5 people.
Mm.
I think no matter what, you're still murder. If you can do something to stop something, then and you don't do it, then you are responsible. Like that's just how I see it.
How about another situation that's similar? There are.
Wait, can I put my thing?
Yeah.
What if pushing him only like there's like a 20% chance of it stopping?
Yeah, I'd do it.
You'd still do it. Yeah, I was gonna say I would as well.
I mean, to be honest, she's morbidly obese.
But you might. Okay, so you definitely kill one person.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
but
that's
then
why.
Eventually, you'd witness 6 murders. There's this 80% chance that you'd witness 6 murders in one day.
But there's also a 20%.
Yeah, I mean, there's a chance that you save it. Because I mean,
there's 1 in 5 chance that you'd save him, with 4 in 5 chance that everyone will die.
Yep, that's the hard thing.
You may as well jump in front of the trolley yourself.
Okay, how about the?
With him.
How about if you push him, there's a 20% chance, but if you jump, there's a 100% chance, and there's like a 50% chance he'll die.
100% chance that you'll save them?
Yeah, 100% chance you'll save them, but there's a 50% chance you'll die if you go.
Okay, what I'm wondering is why am I the 100% if it's a morbidly obese man next to me?
Because just that like little extra was enough.
Because you're wearing a weighted vest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're just like listen. It was that
there's
extra
a pillow
bit
strapped to your stomach.
See, I would make a joke and just say, yeah, like I'm always ready to die, just jump in front. But no, I'd probably still push the person.
I don't know what I would do in that situation.
No one could say for sure. No one could say that they would.
Yeah, there's a sense of like anonymity just by saying it like this. But if you're actually there, a lot of people wouldn't act. It's hard to act when put in a situation.
Okay, in a situation where we would be able to act the way like we're thinking, I guess.
Yeah, but
I'd push them.
I'd say the way I'm thinking about it is just because there's 5 people, my life is worth the same as their lives. Even though there's 5 of them, who knows how much they'll accomplish.
I get it. I completely get it.
Who knows what they'll accomplish. They might go on to accomplish great things. They might go on to accomplish nothing.
It's not even that. It's just like we have a primal selfishness.
Yeah, I just see it as I don't care enough about those other people to give up my own life.
Yeah, they might go on to improve society. They might become detriments, but
I don't know.
But I mean, you could see that like with yourself too. Like you might.
Yeah, you might be a detriment. You might be improvement.
So, Dan, what was your question gonna be?
My additional question is, you're a surgeon. Your patient comes in for tonsil removal. There are 5 people with bad organs in the hospital right now, far down the organ donor list. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to get their organs in time before they die. But this new patient of yours coming in for a tonsil removal, perfectly healthy. Universal blood donor. You put him under anesthetic. If you took him apart, took out all of the organs, took out all of his organs, and then distributed them to the 5 people that need new organs, you would not be caught. You are under no...
So, I have a few questions.
You will not be under any influence of the law. You will get off scot-free. You will kill this perfectly innocent, healthy man to save 5 people
few questions.
Who are condemned to death. Yeah.
Will this guarantee... Will those 5 patients die otherwise?
Yes, they will die because their organ donor list is too far down.
So giving them these organs will guarantee their survival?
It will guarantee their survival.
Will they live like a good life? Like an actual fully functioning life?
Do their faulty organs... Are their faulty organs consequence to their poor actions?
No.
They're not. So they're... Okay, I would do it then.
Okay, wait. One more thing though. Will they be able to live fully functioning? Will they be perfectly fine afterwards?
For the sake of this story, yes.
Then yeah, I would.
It's the same exact scenario.
It's the same exact scenario.
I would do it.
But this is even more intimacy. You're cutting open him. This is even more.
Yeah, this is like you're actually choosing to murder the man.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, if those people had bad organs as consequence of their poor choice, that's a different story. But all 5 of them are innocent, so it's like, it's the same scenario. I'd say
1 innocent man's life versus 5.
It's the same exact scenario.
Yeah. All right. How about back to the tracks?
Mm-hmm.
There's an adult male on the track, one track, and on the other track, there is a 12-year-old male.
Mm-hmm.
Which track do you switch it to? Which do you kill?
Kill the man.
The adult?
That's it. That's all. That's the only question. That's like the only part of the question. Like it's just age versus.
Kill the adult versus kill the child.
Yeah.
Huh.
And why would one of their lives be more important than the other?
It's not that it necessarily is more important.
I would
it's
flip a
just,
coin.
Like, it would
Flip a
just
coin.
in that case, I just see it as like the fact that he
Okay,
has had.
I
Why
would
would you even
life.
influence it then? If it matters, if you flip a coin,
I have a question.
you just walk away.
Well, so like, how old is the man? Like 30ish?
Let's say he's in his 30s, 40s,
Okay, yeah, I'd flip a coin.
or just
No,
walk
just
away.
kill. I'll just kill him.
You kill the adult male. So
Yeah.
a child's life is more important.
Oh
than
no,
an
it's not
adult
that
man's
it's more
life.
important.
Then
It's
why?
just like with like kind of like similar, kind of like the quantity of like the last one where it's
So
just
there's
Oh,
just
he's
more,
like
it's
saying
another
year-wise.
example of
This
potential.
one,
It's just the
this
more potential a child has.
yeah he hasn't lived the same length, you know, like he has less than the other person, and
What
so
if the child would just live to be the same exact life as the man who's in his 40s? What if he's gonna do the
if
same
it was gonna be the
decisions?
same exact, then it shouldn't matter. I mean, then I wouldn't do anything because I mean one of them's gonna die either way, and it's gonna end up with the same outcome. So why care?
Yeah. Actually, I changed my answer. No, so dying at the age of 40 is much better than dying at the age of 12. So,
But why is it better?
well, because this man's lived 40 years of his life.
And this person's only lived 12. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really just the
It's
fact that he's lived more,
It's
and the other
just
kid
it's just
hasn't.
that he's experienced life most likely much more than this child has.
Mhm.
And I think it's just even if this child were to die at like 30, I would still go for the man because it's just like he this kid hasn't experienced anything and he
I mean,
deserves.
no, okay. If the kid wasn't gonna make it to 30, and the other person was already past 30, then I'd probably kill the
The
kid.
man has like up to, let's say he has 40 more years left in his life. He has another
Then, yeah.
lifetime.
Then yeah,
Oh, what
I'd
about the
kill
kid?
Yeah, wait, what's the kid?
We don't
at?
know.
Oh, so it's guaranteed that the man's gonna live another 40 years.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, I would still go for the guy.
Yeah, probably still the guy. Yeah.
There's
Because the
only a
kid
chance that the kid
kid
would
has the
go
same
up.
potential.
He has a
It's not.
potential,
That's
but we
not
don't
even.
know.
It's not even about potential. It's just like. It's about what you.
It
what
seems
you,
like
what-
you're. It's more about. It sounds like a system of justice.
For me.
Because he deserves. This man deserved to live this long. The child deserves to live this long as well.
What makes them? What makes it so that they deserve it? Like, in what way have they
What-
earned the right to
If
live?
that's what
Well-
it sounds like with your argument, with the man, he lived to his 30s. The child still has the potential to live to their 30s. He deserves to live to his 30s before he dies, while the man has already had his chance.
Well, here's the way I see it. You live for 40 years, and comparing your life to a 12-year-old is absolutely nothing. I mean, this 12-year-old hasn't seen anything, and we're just gonna end it there. That seems.
No.
Why does it
The
seem
way
wrong
I
that
see,
the child hasn't seen
wait,
anything?
okay, is the man? It's literally just an average male, then, right?
Sure.
Then yeah, mainly because since it's a kid, there's no guarantee that he's gonna necessarily be average or not.
But it's
He
an
could be
average
better.
kid.
So yeah, it feels like Diego's system goes off of like.
Potential.
Yeah, it's
'Cause
interesting.
It has a higher chance to lead to better things.
What
than
if
it
it's
would.
just a completely average kid? An average
it's an
kid that will
average
live
kid.
eventually the same life. Not the same life, but he will leave the same
then-
impact.
Then
as
again,
your average man?
At that point, then I wouldn't do anything because there's no,
So
You
you're
don't get
thinking like
anything.
a
you know.
like the value of their impact to civilization is how you level this, how you weigh it.
I guess yeah, it's kind of like what they have to give, you know.
So again, for the greater good.
Yeah, but I would like to also point out that this man has already given 28 more years worth of stuff than this child has. So technically, the child will be giving more by staying alive.
He makes a good point there, actually. Because the man has been alive for
Even
for-
even
the man
if
is
even if the child
guaranteed-
is totally average.
The man is guaranteed to live to his 80s, so he's guaranteed to live up to.
Oh,
50
but the other
more
kid
years.
isn't guaranteed.
He's not
He has the
guaranteed.
potential.
He has the potential. It's possible.
Oh. Well, but okay, I'd say I'd probably still choose the kid mainly because in the
potential.
case that he does live to his 80s, he would then have had
It's like another 50 plus 28, so more possibility,
you get more, you know.
more bang out of your buck.
Yeah, and it's not like necessarily like the greater good. It's just like you just get more in general. Like you have, I don't know, like more of a reward, I guess. It's not like you can
Compensation.
contribute more, you know.
Huh.
Because if he lives to his 80s, that's 40 years. And this kid's 12, and he lives to his 80s, then that's what, you know, the 60 something years,
8 years.
68, yeah, that he would be contributing, which means that he would be contributing more.
I don't even think it's about that. I just think my system is more about.
I don't understand your system. You haven't gotten down to the bare bones.
Is it
yet.
like right or wrong? Like
It's not even about that. It's just
so
like
he deserves it.
He deserves
no,
it.
no, 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 no. It's not that. It's just
Then why should he live more? Why should he live up to that man? What makes? Yeah, why should the kid live up?
if we were to for me it's just this guy has lived 40 years. He's experienced 40 years, right?
Yeah.
This kid's only experienced 12 years.
Yeah. Why does that matter?
So it matters because if we were to say that, like, I don't think there's any I from my experience I don't find any much value in like your first 12 years as a person. Like you do most of your important stuff in the ages like 20 and 30. I feel like the kid as a person has a right to be able to experience what other people.
He deserves it. He deserves to have an experience.
He deserves to experience what other people.
So it's a sense of justice. He deserves to have that experience.
Yeah, I guess.
So you have a just system.
What about you?
I don't think there is any difference between their lives. I'm thinking this from a nihilist perspective.
Mm-hmm.
There really is no value in any life. Because even if we accomplish all these things, our civilization, there is none. It's just to pass the time before we die. But
exactly.
If there is any,
so what's the point with answering with that?
Humor.
If you're gonna ask the questions, don't answer it with the same thing.
No. That's fine. No, because that's fine.
Okay.
It's not that big a deal.
I'm just saying, like, his answer avoids the question as well.
All right, it avoids the question. Okay, hold on.
What would you do?
I'd walk away.
Would you do anything? You just walk away?
I'd walk away.
Okay. Because
it doesn't matter. A 12-year-old, 40-year-old, there's no difference in the value of life between an adolescent and an adult. They might achieve the same thing. They might achieve different things. What if that person achieves more? What if that person achieves less? Either way, everything's going to be forgotten.
Oh yeah, and I do see that. And I guess I wouldn't necessarily.
But if I had to think, if I was devoted to civilization within the next 40 years, if I'm thinking potential, I'd go with Diego's point of view. I'd think of the greater good, the potential of the people.
But even in that, like, it's not that I necessarily care about what happens in the future. I just see it as like, okay, there's more. There you go, and so you add it.
Dan, I have a problem with your answer.
Yeah.
Your answer like follows the same logic that would render this question absolutely pointless. That's the thing.
Pointless.
Exactly. So like,
this is all just for an intrinsic value of humor, Mo. It's intrinsic value.
It just seems weird to me because
I could.
All right, then
I could agree with Dan.
How to
I could
get more out of me? Then ask me more. If you're dissatisfied,
it's.
How can I please you?
It's just it's the same logic that would void philosophy and value in life pointless, but this is a value of life question.
Okay, then I think that's why I said I'd follow Diego's philosophy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And again,
like you can't just ask someone answer this question about the value of life and then say, "Oh yeah, there is none, you fucking faggot."
See,
that's what I believe in. Me.
No, I get that, but it just seems weird to me.
And I'm just gonna say, like, it's not necessarily like greater good. Like, I'm not looking at the whole here. I'm not looking at like how they're like everyone could benefit from this in this. I mean, in this scenario, this question by itself, it's just like individually. Like, if you were to just focus on what the kid gives, and just only what he gives, not how it'll affect people, that he gives more.
Just because
the man has already given like a good majority of it, like a good more than, like, you know, half his life.
The man has potential to give 40 years of progress. The kid has the potential to give 68.
Yeah. You get more. Like, literally just looking at it like that. It doesn't matter what it is. You just get more from it.
Mm-hmm. Profit.
Society gets more from it.
Like, it doesn't even matter, like, whether or not, like, they get something. It's just the fact that
if you think about
more.
it, the kid's parents would mourn more than the adult's parents. I don't know. But
I mean, in my, like, the way I'm being, like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's just the kid himself. And what comes from it.
And then if you think of it evolutionarily, the man, assuming that he's a perfectly average man, then let's say he has kids. Evolution's done with the man. It still has the kid to work with. The kid still has to live out his purpose.
If we were to assume that the man had kids.
The man had... Well, I said he had lived a perfectly average life, so I'm assuming that he has kids.
Again, if the man had kids, then you could go ahead and...
What if the man was the...
His bloodline will be continued.
What if the man was the what?
The boy's father.
Oh. Then he'd obviously want himself to die.
Yeah, like, that's what that would make the kid choice more obvious, I think.
Yeah. He'd be egging you on to pull it towards him.
He'd be like, yeah, kill me.
Depending on the person, though. I mean, like, if it was someone that literally didn't care, didn't care at all for the child.
I think, honestly, I think I would be more convinced to kill the father if he didn't want to die.
See, because then that's like right or wrong, I guess, in a way.
It's not even about right or wrong. It's just about what perturbs me. Like, if a father's like, yeah, I'd rather have my life than my kid's life, then I'd be like, yeah, I'm just gonna fucking kill you. Like, that's just how that's just if I was going off the feeling.
Because you think he'd deserve it at that point.
Yeah, I would think like, oh, you clearly don't care about your kid, so maybe you're an actual like cunt.
But like, what if a situation? I mean, like, you gotta think about it like as like an individual. You don't want yourself to die, regardless of whether or not you want your kids to survive or not. You still don't want to. You may want him to live, and like it would be better if you died, but that doesn't necessarily mean you want to die. No one wants to die.
Yeah, I get that, but like, if
so you would be basing
father is trying to convince me to let him live to kill his kid, I would just from personal like feeling, I would be like, yeah, fuck that. You're not living.
Yeah, so he
it's like it's hard to that's just convincing.
It's
just
wrong.
It's not even because
that's how you'd see it, because there would be no reason for you to kill him based off that unless you saw it as wrong.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, I would just see it as wrong. Yeah. Next question.
What do you guys think about immortality?
I would do it. Absolutely.
Now here's the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think life, although you're gonna argue with this, Dan, I think life has value because it ends.
But why?
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, but I'm curious as to
see value in life at all. So how could you not disagree with that?
I mean, I respect your own opinion as it is. But...
Oh, okay. No, so here's how I see it, Diego. You can contribute much to society if you are immortal, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of how you'd feel, you would absolutely feel awful. Like, there's no doubt about that. Like, eventually you will hate yourself. Well, because you're living forever. Like, there's nothing to gain out of it. Like, at some point, like, there's a reason why most people, as they grow old, like, change their thoughts on immortality and decide, yeah, I wouldn't want it. Because they've achieved what they wanted to in life, and they realize, oh, this is all I need for my life, you know?
But I can see that. It comes down to,
I'm not saying I wouldn't take it. I'm just saying, like, it's a very, very hard question. Like,
I'd say I would, because I like to see what I can do, and I don't think there's necessarily ever a limit to like what I kind of want to find out. You know?
I want to put something else into perspective, right?
Like what?
So, like, you know how when you have nothing to do, you're incredibly lazy?
Yeah.
If you're immortal, you're going to be beyond like lazy, I'd say, because you have genuinely nowhere to go, you have nothing to look forward to.
With all the knowledge of the world at your fingertips and any time to just delve into it,
the way I see it is because you're immortal, you can do anything. Right?
Well, are we talking like age immortal or like invincible?
Age immortal.
Okay, yeah, that's not really doing anything.
Like, but you can accomplish anything.
Sure.
Like because like think of it, like you have all this time to literally do whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's say like
you can literally absorb all of Earth's knowledge, all of humanity's knowledge.
Yeah, let's say you can retain all this information that you get, then you could do anything.
Your brain doesn't.
You'd be constantly improving, and like that right there this is like why I would, because it doesn't matter.
Or you get driven crazy.
I guess, but then at that point,
with constantly tasks to fulfill, I don't think you'd be driven crazy.
Do you really think he would be convinced to fulfill tasks though?
Just read.
Do you think he would have the drive? I don't know.
I would have the choice.
There's nothing else to do.
I could, and I wouldn't have to worry about me not being able to. And I think that is like a much larger weight off of my shoulders. Because it's not like I'm not gonna worry about like anything wrong happening to me or like something bad, like oh no, lose my job. Because if I'm immortal, that doesn't matter. I'm gonna live forever. I can do what I want.
Well, I think that's why it would be hard to drive yourself, because you'd be like, oh, so this bad happened to me, but it's okay. I live forever. It's not a big deal. You'd have no.
No, see, because the thing,
it's not that you wouldn't have any
that
problems. It's just every problem that you would have when you're mortal is rendered null.
It's like you would. It's like you would eventually get this view on the world where nothing fucking matters. You would be this.
But nothing does to
Not
begin with,
nothing
really.
matters. Just like money doesn't matter. Food doesn't matter. Interaction might matter.
I think he would find nothing matters, because even an interaction wouldn't matter.
I think if your goal with your immortality is just to constantly absorb more knowledge, then that would matter. That is that's the only thing keeping you alive at this point.
Because the way I'm seeing it, right, is that like, okay, first off, nothing really does matter, because eventually it'll most likely.
Listen, that's a different story. Just continue.
Yeah. Anyways, right? But what I like want to know is because like I like to believe that I'm a curious person. Like if there's something that I want to know, then like I really want to know. Like it gets at me if I do not figure out what it is. Right?
So you think that your current drive that's.
Oh no. See.
No. Wait, let me finish. You think your current inability to do certain things would be rendered null if you were immortal?
If you had more time, if you had all the time in the world.
For the most part, yes, in a way. Because the one thing that I hate that will push me.
Yeah,
more,
but I would like to also point something else out.
Well,
you're immortal, not invincible. I mean, like you're going to die somehow.
So I can die.
If the world ends, you'll die.
No, but it's not even about that. Like he's likely gonna die even before that. I mean, accidents happen in every corner.
I'd still be immortal because I can still do more.
Yeah, I get that, but like.
Right.
It's
for the sake of argument, let's switch it to just immortal, totally immortal, not
completely
just age immortal, completely immortal. You're God.
In every way, like you can't get shit like dead.
You're God without power. You can't die. You can't be dismembered. You're constantly, always will be intact.
I would do it.
But you can kill yourself.
Because
you can kill yourself.
You can kill yourself.
Yes, I would do it. You've just destroyed the question. The point is that you can't kill yourself. That's why it's a scary question.
You can't kill yourself? It's scary because you can't kill yourself?
It's scary because it would never end. Like if there's just the possibility
you take a world of never ending just for the sake that it can end. So your end is definitely confirmed going to be by your
the reason why I would definitely take it is because life has value because it ends, like I said. So if I can end my own life, then
so the only value of life is it ending.
Yes, so if I can end my own life...
That's the only value of life.
No, like, that's not what I'm saying, but I think every value that we have is a consequence of it ending.
So it's because the fragility of life, it gives it all of its value.
Yeah, yes.
All of its value.
Not, it's like...
What other values does life have?
That's what I'm saying is that because life can end, everything sacred. Else... It's like it packs everything else to make it more valuable.
You don't think the fact that it can accidentally happen reduces its value?
What do you mean?
People mistakenly get pregnant all the time. Does that still mean life is sacred, even though it can end? It's easier to make life than it is to make a pizza.
Wait,
it's easier to have sex. Do you still think life is sacred because of that?
I never said life is sacred.
All right, well, it has value. Do you think that the fact that it's easier to have sex than it is to make a pizza retracts from the value of life at all?
No.
Okay.
What? I mean...
But, like, it wouldn't, like... Because it's an accident. Like, none of it was intentional.
Okay.
But no, I'm not really getting at that kind of argument yet. It's just... His argument is the fact that it can end makes it so valuable, but the fact that it can happen without thinking that it happened, the fact that it can start without intentionally starting it, I find that retracts from the value. Even if it can end, it can accidentally start. I don't see how a happenstance that can happen on accident.
I think we're on different wavelengths.
Okay.
I feel that it's the same wavelength.
Back to the original thing of whether or not...
No, I wasn't finised with my...
Oh, okay.
I totally forgot what I was saying. God damn it.
Ending it. The fact that life ends means it's valuable. Something about the suicide because...
Oh, so like if I were to... So like... my worry about immortality, right,
Mhm.
is that eventually I would be, I think,
Driven
driven
insane.
crazy because it's just who knows what would happen to the mind at that point, right?
If your mind is constantly intact.
Yeah, if this is immortal, as in like nothing can hurt you, and that includes mental issues, because that would be like, I guess, damage, technically.
Oh, that's such a weird question.
No, okay, I would say yes, like without a doubt, right? Because I want to figure out what I can do. Like that right there is basically like why I would. It's just the fact that like there's so much that I could figure out, and like I could continue. Like there's no limit. I could continue figuring out all kinds of things, right?
If all life dies out before you can build your own utopia.
And one of the things that like I don't think necessarily anyone necessarily like thought about, I guess, but this is like for me though personally, is like the one thing that I really hate is being bored. And that would push me to do things because I wouldn't be able to just sit around. That would kill me.
Eventually you would get if you're living forever, if you have a life that the length is infinite, eventually you will run out of knowledge. I don't know how far it can go, how much biological beings like us.
Your mind can't get unstable at all.
Let's just say.
I feel like that destroys the morality.
Yeah, I think you can become stable. I think you can become unstable, but.
Well, then I mean, if I'm like crazy, then like I mean, I'm crazy. It's not like I'm gonna have like much of a normal thought process after that. So I'm thinking that.
And saying you can kill yourself, I think, also destroys the morality.
How so? I feel destroys morality. How does that destroy?
Not destroys the point of the question. Is what I mean. I feel like the point of the question is. Living forever living forever might.
Biological beings shouldn't live forever. There's too much intricacies with our brain. No, if everyone else dies around us, then.
What I mean is that the idea, like, when people ask the question, I think they mean is like, living forever is scary because it never ends. But if you can end your own life, then that destroys what the question was meant for. So if I can end my own life, then I definitely do it. Yeah.
I think it's ironic how the fact that all life ends, this scary thing looming over us, the fact that we won't be alive eventually, that one day we'll all die, that's a relaxing point.
I think it is.
Story of Infinite.
I think it is.
I think that the fact that we've lived our entire lives knowing that we're gonna die contributes to that. If we think it's possible, if we can escape what we believe is inescapable, then I think you'd think differently.
Even though like there are all these like potential issues, right, that might come along with being immortal, I think I'd probably still do it. Like,
I like my other point where what if you're not in a biological body?
Like in a computer.
What if not even that? What if you just switched everything mechanical? What if all your chemical inputs are now electrical? You are a body you understand. You can create infinite yous. You are many different bodies, but you can share one collective consciousness.
That's scary.
Why?
Because I don't know how that works well enough.
That's dope, I think.
I don't know how
you're alone. Well, no other species on a planet that is yours.
See, the way I see it, right, is that if there's multiple of you, like one of the problems with being immortal and like you just being like you yourself,
you can't do it.
Is that you can't? There's certain things that you won't be able to do because they require more than one person or thing, and that solves that issue. If there's more of you, then first off, it'll go the way you want it to go.
Are we saying that if you're immortal, you won't be with anyone else?
Everyone you know and love will die, and why would they follow you? But I guess you'd be a god among them. But we're changing to like I'm sick of the biological immortality. At
that point, yeah, I think
you'd go crazy long before just because naturally you'd fall in love, and naturally everyone you know and love would die.
And there's another worry that you'd get driven so crazy that you would literally take over the world. I mean, you can't get hurt, you can't die.
That'd be cool though.
Eventually, you would be alone.
The world. No, see, okay, actually, that kind of like reminds me of like a kind of something that involves the whole immortality thing and knowledge, right? Is how Dan, you said that like eventually, like you wouldn't be able to like, I guess like there wouldn't be enough stuff for you like.
You'd run out of other people's knowledge.
You'd run out of stuff to know, right?
You'd have to. Well, I don't think. just for the sake, there are things that even our
I think
minds
the only
can't
reason-
understand. We'd run out of things that are capable of knowing for at least humans.
See, that's why, like, what I think is like kind of interesting about
That's
this
the
is
end point.
because you're immortal. I think, like, regardless, there was still always stuff that you will learn. Because while you might like learn the ideas or the concepts behind things, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have experienced those things, right? So, like, let's say you've gone to the point where everything has basically reset, right? Earth gone, right? But you're still there, of course, because you're immortals. You're just kind of chilling out.
A baboo?
So all life on Earth is gone.
Yeah, let's say it's all gone.
Okay.
Huh.
Resets, whatever. Something happens.
Jesus.
Different life, right?
Global
Now
warming.
you have the opportunity to experience.
This is actually what that manga was about that I was talking about.
Now you have the opportunity to experience that stuff. You may know the ideas behind it, but you've never actually seen it. You've never actually experienced
In
it.
your biological body or mechanical body? With the
Regardless,
many
any
years.
of it.
How do you
any of it.
experience it if you're alone? If everyone's gone?
I
What
mean,
do you
I-
experience?
This
I
is
was
like
gonna
personal.
say-
Like, again, like I don't care. I don't need to share it with anyone. It's just like, oh look, that's cool. That's neat. You
I
know?
wanted to, that manga I was talking about before, Dan, is about some girl who's lived 3 billion years. It looks really interesting, and it's
You
just
can
her
send it to
life
me
in
if you
modern
want.
day. What?
You can send it to me if you want. I'll probably check it out.
I haven't read it, but it looks really interesting.
Because I mean, like, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of things that you could figure out. Like, you can know a lot of stuff. Doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna experience everything, though.
Yeah, this goes like beyond.
I don't
like a
think
I think
philosophical
it's-
question,
I think right now you think it's worth it, but once you go through everything, you will think this isn't
All
worth
right.
it.
I
When I
wouldn't
am
want-
80 years old on my deathbed, I want you guys to ask me the same question.
No,
No,
but
that's
this
not
is
what I
this
mean.
is a
I mean,
different
if you
question.
were-
Even if
If
you
you
were
were alive
80,
a billion years, you're going to have a different mindset completely, Diego.
because even if people, going back to what Momo said earlier about when people get older age, they're more accepting of death. It might be insensitive to say, but I think that's just a form of accepting. It's a form of giving up,
Coping with it.
because it's inescapable. There's no way
The
to
way
accept.
Neil deGrasse Tyson said is that when he was a kid, he always wanted to be immortal, but when he grew up, he did everything he wanted to in life, and it got to the point where he didn't want to be immortal, and he was fine with
He
death
did everything
because-
that he wanted to, given the time that he had.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
I know,
technically.
because I think a lot of it is like it depends on how the person like kind of like has like what their goals are. Basically.
Yeah, not everyone would want. Some people live their lives for
But I would
other
like
people.
to put something into perspective here, Diego.
Hmm.
Your mind. How old are you?
I am currently 16 years old.
What?
16.
It's God's
Actually?
number.
Yeah, I'm 16. Legit.
Wow. Okay.
He's already said this to you before.
Okay, you're 16 years old. That is nothing in comparison to how many years you will be living in immortality. Your mind is nothing
Mhm.
right now, nothing like how it would be in the future. You can't really.
But even that interests me
I get that.
because
but
I would change. It would be different. Everything.
I
would
get that.
Be different.
But I
This-
get that. But
Let me release a disclaimer right now. I don't
Yep.
believe a biological mind like a human's biological mind exposed to immortality, it would not be intact. It would not last. It would be impossible to keep your sanity as a human.
Yep.
Through immortal life. Now,
completely
if you were a machine, if you had no chemical inputs, just electrical motives, still
I think the
consciousness.
scary thing about that though is that what would you do, right?
anything.
Let's assume
Everything.
you were. Let's assume. Oh, are we assuming it's an objective machine or like?
It's a
does it have
conscious
feelings?
machine. It depends on the feelings. It has the soul, but not the primitive wants.
Like, does it have drives? Like, will
It has
like,
drives, but it has no
Okay.
greed, no selfishness, nothing.
But
no,
how would you base
evolutionary
that
adaptation.
without greed and selfishness?
Just for Well, now that I'm thinking, the only reason we do things really,
Yep.
the three main things is fear, or because it feels good.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that you're saying that we don't have those things.
How
yet,
about
it's what causes
curiosity?
us to feel.
Curiosity.
Okay, if we get
So it's-
curiosity,
yes.
then yeah.
Curiosity is arguably not a
I don't know about
evolutionary
curiosity.
adaptation.
The thing about curiosity is that it's dangerous.
I feel like it's gotten people killed more than it has.
yeah,
helped
it's
us.
But I
dangerous.
mean, okay, if at the
But if
point
it's just
where-
you, who is it dangerous to? You're
if
infinite.
you're,
Oh,
if you're
we're
at the
assuming
point,
that you're the only person around.
You are everyone.
Well, you're curious about what happens if you kill everyone on the planet. I
No,
mean, that's
there's
the
no
thing,
one.
like,
There's
if
no
you-
one. There's no one. It's
Oh, there's
you.
no
You're a
one.
mechanical body. You're a hive mind of mechanical bodies. You're just one consciousness that
Is
can
there the
control
possibility
everything on your
of-
planet.
but is there the possibility of there being other life and stuff like that? Because you can't just limit it. to like there being absolutely nothing.
You're on a barren planet with plenty of resources, but if you
Which
want...
okay, but this means life's a possibility. Life can.
Life is possible, but it's your responsibility to make it possible.
So
biological
currently, like literally everywhere in the entire universe, everything there is no life.
Not the universe, not the universe, just your planet.
Oh, then yeah, no, because you can go to some other planet and then just kind of experiment with them.
You could.
I feel like
that would be morally right to experiment with something that isn't yours.
I'd do it.
Experiment with life.
So here's the thing, right, Diego? As a
why would you want to experiment with life if you have all of Earth's knowledge left over?
It's experimenting with life. It's just like if we
assuming that you become this mechanical thing, right?
You're saying I have the curiosity, though, right?
All you have is
the curiosity, but no malice. No malice, just curiosity.
No malice.
Well, then yeah.
How can you have no malice with curiosity?
You don't see because you wouldn't necessarily be seeing it as bad. You would just be seeing it as I wonder what happens. Or I wonder how this will respond, or what event will lead to.
But
just because you're curious doesn't mean you have to feel hatred.
No, I'm not. No, but I mean, like, you can be curious about something, and you might not have malice, but it could still be bad.
Regardless, okay, but
it's difficult because this isn't like the things.
Like, you might not think what you're doing
imperfect
bad,
humans.
but you are doing something bad.
If we put the imperfect human mind into a perfect machine,
like you're curious what happens if you fucking end the world. Like if you create life and
if you have knowledge, you have knowledge of pre-existing occurrences, things that happened in the past. You have all of Earth's knowledge. You spent your first million years learning everything that we were capable of,
that we know currently.
And what would you be curious about?
Then yeah, I mean, there's so much.
What goes beyond?
What? Okay. The base would literally just be what else can I figure out?
You learn about all these mal-existing societies and the fact that they couldn't cooperate together, yet you could be all those societies with one mind and one purpose, one objective. Yeah. How far can you go?
Mm-hmm.
What can I accomplish?
And even then, I think you can you have the ability to because of this knowledge. You have something to base how you act on things. So if you can control all these minds,
all
these infinite minds,
you've learned all of the current mistakes in all of history that we know.
Then you could even experiment necessarily with yourselves, as long as since you have the experience and the knowledge of how people act and how they respond, then you would just generate the exact same.
And you can adapt to the mistakes that we've made.
Exactly.
You can apply.
Mistake.
History's mistakes. Human history's mistakes.
But the problem with that is that you can't have mistakes without some sort of bias and some sort of feelings, because
okay, because you'd be seeing the knowledge as okay, this is what they
you can see mistakes just because mistakes isn't that made them feel happy. It was a mistake because it wasn't efficient. It wasn't as efficient.
But what
as
isn't
it could
efficient?
Have been.
That's
the fact that these are countless different societies.
The problem to me here is that you can't have that without.
You can, because it would be whether or not you reach the end goal.
You can't have that if you're human. You can't have a utopia, perfect society if you're human, but you're not human anymore.
Okay, so
but you're saying that he can learn from humans' mistakes.
A lot of the mistakes would be useless information. Yeah.
Yeah, that's essentially what I'm saying. Those mistakes.
But you can also learn from their.
No, but they would matter because
I feel like what all they would do is they would give you a sense of.
They give you interaction for other life, I guess.
I think they would drive morality inside of you and make you choose a side, and then it destroys the whole purpose of what you.
I don't think so. I don't think so, because you can see it as what they believe. That doesn't mean it's what you believe.
But you
would adapt to an opinion.
But then how would you know it's a mistake? If you as a robot decide this is a mistake, you've already taken a side. That makes no sense.
No, but it wouldn't be you deciding. This is literally you reflecting on what they decide.
If you're just reading a history book, if you're reading a history book and saying Hitler killed all the Jews. Oh, that was bad because Hitler killed all the Jews. Why is that bad? I have a question.
You're going off of what humans have decided was a mistake. That's still a problem, because then you're still human. This is no different, I don't think.
Not necessarily, because it's not like it's influencing your decisions. This is literally okay. So
then why does
it would be you observing what other people believed is something.
Then why does that knowledge matter at all?
No, that's the point. None of it matters. Nothing matters. Literally nothing
Maybe
matters.
the knowledge of
literally
history doesn't
exist-
matter,
you
but maybe the
literally
knowledge
exist for the sake of knowledge.
Okay.
You're not
For
going
the
to do
sake
anything
of your argument, let's just say you ignore the arts and the history, and you only look at the science and mathematics. You only look at the progress humans have made. You don't adapt. You don't adopt the past human moralities or their system of right and wrong. All you have is progress, efficiency, and curiosity. Yearning to learn and improve.
So you exist for the sake of knowledge.
Improvement.
Okay,
Then you have the board.
That's interesting. But
Then you have
the
the board.
problem with that is that now it's very interesting. However, is it
literally the
not
board.
boring?
Why do humans feel bored?
Okay, well that's a good point. But what I mean is,
Because if you're a robot, you wouldn't really feel bored, now would you?
is it like
Alright,
what's
Robo,
what's the
Diego.
point if you can't feel excitement about it, or if you can't feel
Because it's
bored
all you
about it?
can do.
But then what's the point of living like that? That's what I'm asking.
That's true. Some might argue
What's
it's
the
not
point
even
of
living at all.
like? Yeah, because then you see when you ask that, it's what's the point of doing anything? What's the point of
No,
living
no,
where
no,
we
no,
are
no. That's
now?
not what I'm saying, Diego. What's the point of living where
From
knowledge
a biological
doesn't-
perspective, it's hard to ask that. Just because it
What's-
doesn't
no,
excite
but-
you doesn't mean it's not important.
No, that's not what I mean. If it doesn't it doesn't matter if you create the perfect society if you can't feel in that society, or if you can't.
Why do you have
can't
to
that,
feel
or
it?
that
Yeah,
technology.
Why?
Because then who are you making it for? What's the point of any of it?
It doesn't have to. You don't have to necessarily be making it for anyone.
If humans
See,
did it,
what's
what's
the
the
point?
point in it? What's the point in feeling happy about it?
What's the point in any of the knowledge you're getting at all?
What's the
It could
point in
be
finding
no
the
point.
knowledge? What's the point in people finding the knowledge that you've built up from? What's the point in us getting knowledge right now?
It's
Where
for the
will it
sake of
end?
progress and because we're not robots. I mean, it's.
Why
we
does
do
it matter
things-
if robots are doing it for progress? Just because we feel happy for doing it?
It's not. No,
Because
what I'm
we
saying
feel
is
happy?
that-
What makes
gives
it
us a
different
purpose.
though?
What do you mean?
What makes
Why
it
is it different for
'Cause-
robots and humans
Yeah.
to do it?
Because
is the
you're
main
saying
difference
this
that you're
robot
saying?
has no way, has like no bias, right? Is that what we're assuming?
Bias towards what?
Bias towards like the only thing, like human bias, like these bad emotions that, quote unquote, bad emotions that drive humans to do things.
It's just
I would
driving
like
itself.
I would like
It's
to put
curious.
something in
It's
perspective. I would like to put
curious.
something, GLaDOS.
Yeah.
Like I think that's a pretty good example. She's just a robot who wants to do tests. Like that would literally be your
She
whole
has
life.
personality cores. That's a different thing. This robot doesn't have a personality. It's just curious.
So you're a robot. You're making discoveries. You're building
Mhm.
things. You're creating
Yeah.
things. Mm,
You're curious. The original idea I had in mind is that it is a human consciousness without the primitive feelings inside of a collective hive mind's main
now, see
brain.
that makes sense to me. Like that would be a cool idea.
But then it would be an objective
why?
one, and then it would all fail.
Yes, but it wouldn't be
This
bad.
is an
because it
infallible
would-
society.
Okay, but
infallible
why-
You know
society.
why it wouldn't fail? Because you're the only person there, correct?
But you don't need to feel other people there. You don't need the dopamine
Well,
anymore.
no,
The
here's
dopamine
what
is
I'm
I
fine.
feel like a lot of this is being based off
No,
of
no.
like having other people like
No.
acknowledge.
Here's what I'm
what
saying.
you're
It
doing.
wouldn't fail because a utopia is a utopia to you, correct?
Utopia
And
is
if
a
you're the
dystopia
only
to me.
person there, then you could create your perfect society. It's not like you have to do anything for anyone else.
So what's the problem in that?
It's not a problem. I'm
Okay.
saying
But
it's
isn't that the same
I'm
thing
saying
with like, the
that's-
robot thing?
But
No,
it's better.
because if you-
It's better if there are other people to appreciate the utopia.
No, I'm saying it's better if there aren't.
That's what the robot is.
That's
The
what
robot.
it is. It's just you and your
I
hive
was
mind.
going off the
associates.
assumption that this robot was this objective, non-biased.
What's wrong with that though?
completely-
Why is that
Yeah.
different? Why is that different from a conscious robot that's doing the same thing? Not even a. Sure, a conscious robot. A conscious robot with human consciousness without the primitive emotions, the primitive drive, without all of evolution's history, past influence on it. It's just creating a civilization with itself. Now, another robot that just feels curiosity, without this, it might have a consciousness, because curiosity is a trait of consciousness. They're practically the same thing. Just one used to be... one has portions of a human. Which I don't even know what the portions are, because I'm not really in depth into this question, but...
I think what confuses me is about what, like, the mind of this robot.
It's just curious.
That's
and it wants,
like, that's what
it's
makes
curious
this
and it wants to improve, and its only drive is improvement and efficiency. It's the Borg without other life. Just itself. And without the weird, ominous.
So it
evil
feels a
shit.
sense of accomplishment for being efficient.
You wouldn't even have to.
It might not feel a sense of accomplishment. It would just, that's all it's driven to do. I guess it's hard it's hard to imagine non-accomplishment because we're humans and we do things for that sense of accomplishment, for that explosion of dopamine saying, "Oh, that's great. I love doing this. It's so fun." But they don't need that.
Yeah, it's simply getting from point A to point B.
It's curiosity. It's curious of what can I do? What can I do?
Moving on.
How far can I go?
That.
Improve. What can I do? How far can I go?
So the original question is here: would Diego want to become that?
Yeah. Would you want to be?
Yeah.
You would.
Would you?
I would.
Why wouldn't you, Momo?
I don't see any sense of.
Because you don't have that explosion of dopamine. There's no point.
No, that's not even it. It's just.
Then what is it?
Everything I've done in my life has been for a specific reason that my mind tells me is right or wrong, right?
So improvement isn't reasonable?
So it's hard to imagine myself in that situation.
The robot has a reason. Improve. Progress. Curious. Improve. Progress. I'm curious. Improve. How far can I go? Improve. Make the perfect society. Make the most efficient society.
But even then, it doesn't even have to be limited. It doesn't even have to be limited to society. It can literally just be anything. Just improvement. Just going forward. Finding out more.
Perfect life. Efficient
What's
life.
the point?
Exactly. What's the point?
What's the point of perfection?
What's the point of imperfection?
What does there have to be?
What is perfection? That's
is efficiency. I defined it. It's a perfection is efficiency. As efficient as possible.
What's efficiency?
Depends on what it's arguing with. Every aspect of, if you can call it living, which I think it is, because it is conscious thought, it's curious, it's alive. It knows it's alive, anything that it does, just do it.
But I think that there's another question I have. What can be limited to something so simple?
I don't understand.
Wait, yeah, what do you mean?
Certainly you can't create arts or like movies or TV shows with that sort of mindset, because that makes no sense otherwise.
But why not? Why is that bad that you can't make TV or you can't?
Because there's no such thing as something that's so simple. I mean, you can't make a perfect art. It's impossible. I mean, then you'd have this.
That depends on, I guess. Are you viewing it as art, as in general, everything is art, or as in each thing can get into a smaller and smaller category?
Well, what I'm saying is that if it has a sense of art, as in like
artistic.
Yes. Then
sense of creativity.
If that thinks it's technically whatever it thinks is perfect.
If it can create, then it has to have a sense of creativity. If it does create.
So its definition of perfect is what's perfect to it.
Its definition of perfect is efficient.
But
it would be the best thing that it could be. The best that it could be.
It just wants to accomplish everything that it can.
It could be anything, even like
everything
with art.
Unknown, it wants to find.
But that's what I'm asking.
No, but even with art, it may not necessarily see it as art, but it could still make it quote unquote the best, because
that doesn't make sense.
It's art. No, that wouldn't make sense. Its art wouldn't be our interpretation of art.
Yeah, it'd be different. It would be like just kind of a thing. It's its own thing.
It's unimaginably different. I can't imagine what it would be.
The way I'm seeing it is that like
it wouldn't be human, and you're looking at it through a human perspective, but that's fine because it's your
I guess this is just the best way that I guess I can say I
you wouldn't. So you wouldn't do it because it wouldn't have a human sense of creativity. You think
no, I wouldn't do it because I don't think it makes sense logically.
What doesn't make sense?
I think
I want to understand
the
meat of why it doesn't.
I think everything is driven subjectively, and you can't have this robot creating a perfect society that you call efficiency without it without
calls
that being
efficiency.
perfect to it. It has to have.
It is a
It
perfect
has to
to it.
have some sort of
That's
bias
why
there.
I said its definition of perfect is efficiency. This is its subjective thought, is to make everything more efficient.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense actually.
That's what I've been saying this entire time.
Then that changes a lot.
Okay,
guess.
would you then? Yes or no?
Yeah.
You would.
That's a completely different case.
But you don't have to. Like, you can still live your human life and die at the age of 80, or who knows how long it's going to be in the future. Or you could become this immortal,
No.
infinitely
Like,
progressing
now
thing.
that you've clarified, yes, I would totally.
You would do it. You'd rather
That's
become...
very interesting. Yeah.
So you're
Why
saying
would you?
you'd rather be an immortal to live an infinite life and progress infinitely than live a human life today?
It's not even that. It's just
You'd want to try.
It's
It's something.
I have the opportunity to live unlike anything else ever, and it's not like I'll care for anything. It's not like I'll care once it happens, because all I care about is efficiency. That's all I care.
All
about.
you want to do is progress. You want to see how far
Exactly. So as soon as I make that choice, it won't matter anymore.
So you'd want to give up literally
It would
everything
be
that you have as
it
being
would be an
human.
interesting experience to only care about
But would you want
progression
to?
and efficiency.
Do you want to do that? Another question.
If I were to actually make the choice, it would be tough, but I think it's a really interesting thing to experience.
So you can't
So
really...
you would give up basically, like, okay, like instead, I'm not like,
You would give
trying
up
to,
your
like,
humanly creative life.
yeah, or you'd give up being able to experience
It's-
that love that most people so desire.
It's
You would
It's-
give up just your family, everything, the people that you know, everything for this.
yeah. I mean, it would be an interesting experience. I mean, it's not just like it's not like when I make the decision I'll care anymore, because I won't. It won't matter at all. You know.
I feel this question I devised under the basis of this is technically, when people say they want to leave their mark on the world, this in its own twisted, convoluted way is accomplishing that. This is the end goal, in my perspective, of human evolution. Is people just want to, I want to do this better. We're going to make machines to do this
evolution,
better.
though?
Yeah, well, the human creates the robot, puts their mind in that robot, and everything changes.
Would you want to be a robot?
Wait, are we assuming that there's other life on this place?
No, all life is gone. It's just you and the hive mind. You and your hive mind. So it's literally just you.
On this lone planet. But that
Millions,
doesn't necessarily
possibly billions of you.
doesn't necessarily mean that there isn't life anywhere else, and that
Yeah,
there
there could be
be
life. There's resources for you to
Yeah, there's
progress
just
your society.
not life currently on the place that you're at.
Well, but I mean, I think if you were, if you were a robot, you wouldn't want to create life, because that would be the opposite of what you want.
Well, if you were a curious
No,
robot.
why would that be the opposite of what you want?
If you were a
'cause
curious
robots are not
robot, then
perfect.
you'd wonder
I mean, not
about
robots.
life.
People are not perfect, or unless you decide to make like a more of you.
No.
Well, wouldn't that imperfection interest you?
That's exactly what I was arguing before.
No, because it could be perfect by, in a way, being imperfect, which doesn't necessarily make sense. But like
Oh
the way
my
what I mean, I know this is becoming a mess, right?
No, this is the problem with this is that this is literally human life. We've looped back into human life.
It's a
No,
circle.
because it wouldn't necessarily be you experiencing it. It would just be the fact that you can make something that has problems, and that's the perfect.
But this is
But if
human
you
life.
were-
That's human life, dude. That's the
Yeah, but
problem.
that doesn't. No, that doesn't matter though, because it's not like you are that. That's just you making it. You've achieved.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That you've just
Yeah, but
created.
you don't
human
have
life.
to do that, but I feel like if you were a robot whose only need is efficiency, then human life would be uninteresting, because it's not as efficient as
I
possible.
agree.
Most
I agree.
likely.
I agree that human life would
But if
not
you were
be-
more driven by curiosity than
Yep,
efficiency,
yep.
then you'd
That's-
probably
that's
create
something.
life.
I think if you
and
were
then
more driven
realize
by
that life
curiosity, it
is
would be
stupid.
chaos. Actually,
Yeah,
I
you
think-
wouldn't get anything done. Well,
you would be-
actually.
you would just-
If you were
Eventually
a
you would,
robot,
I think.
Yeah, if you had infinite time, then you would. If you sit a monkey down with a typewriter and give it infinity,
Yeah.
then it will type Hamlet word for word. Punctuation for punctuation.
I mean, yeah, but that's just like a ridiculous.
No, that's exactly what I'm saying.
No.
If you put a robot,
Yeah, no,
a
no,
curious
I
robot
get it. I
for
agree, I
infinity,
agree.
then it will accomplish everything. Will it do it efficiently? No, but will it accomplish everything?
So like,
Yes.
it will try literally everything possible.
It will do everything.
It will do everything. Now, I honestly think that's even more interesting. I would rather live that life.
Why?
What will happen
because-
once you've done everything?
Yeah, once you've typed
Well,
out
theoretically, would it ever? I guess everything comes to an end. Technically,
Is knowledge finite? That's another interesting question.
that is. But like, I would rather be curious because I would do more things than perfection. If I were just basing my life on curiosity, I might be able to see 3 billion years of a different life evolving.
Pursuit of
but
that would never happen.
I'd probably go with the curiosity thing.
Yeah, I think
it's like better with curiosity.
Yeah, because with perfection, you're limiting yourself.
Yeah, curiosity, you could do everything.
Yeah, curiosity, you can have perfection. You wouldn't necessarily have it right away.
You wouldn't have
or
it all the
nearly
time.
as quick, but you could have it.
Yep, I think curiosity is definitely better.
I need a new question.
Yeah, we do. That was a really good one, though.
So we all would, though, yeah?
Yep.
I would, yeah.
Sweet. But you wouldn't?
I would, yeah. That goes back to a lot of people argue that I find it interesting to think about the argument when people say, if you ask someone, would you be immortal? And they say no. And there's so many things to argue, but when they say, I don't want to be immortal because it's unnatural.
Unnatural?
That irks me.
Unnatural.
It's
no
unnatural.
Fucking shit, it's unnatural.
Yeah, but just...
No.
It's unnatural to live to 80 if we're talking relative to the Dark Ages. It's unnatural to hold an object in your hand that receives information from objects unnaturally put in orbit around our planet.
Like religious, though?
No, some people just say it's unnatural. And they use iPhones that create magnetic and electrical fields that humans shouldn't have even tampered with. We should have just stuck with rocks.
Certainly a weird argument.
It's unnatural to bang rocks together to form sharper rocks.
Natural would literally just be things left alone in there, like...
It would be a hedgehog scampering through, getting eaten by a fucking leopard, I guess. I don't know. What eats hedgehogs? Probably cats.
Like things in their original state, basically, though, right?
Yeah.
Just left alone.
Evolution is natural. Change is natural.
Well, natural just doesn't necessarily mean left alone. It just means untouched by the human...
Untouched by evolution is what their definition of unnatural is.
Oh, is it? I thought it was more or less
Well,
human.
everything we've done is because of evolution. So if you call this unnatural, then evolution is unnatural. The development of technology is unnatural.
I think it's more I think nowadays it's more used in terms of human touch, because I agree, if it was evolution, then everything would be unnatural.
Yeah, humans are beyond evolution at this point.
So I think it refers to humans.
If you go back to humans, if you just look at how a lion is on the food chain right now, it majestically progressed through years and years. Like, it hunts gazelle. Gazelle learned that this lion is going to hunt me, so I'm going to run away from it. And it keeps going up and say, okay, my natural predator is this, my natural prey is this. But humans come in so fast that their prey doesn't know that humans are the predator. They get wiped out, and then their entire species disappears.
Mm-hmm.
We have outrun evolution.
That's interesting. Or at least the way we know evolution.
The way we picture it, at least. Even if I don't even know if evolution is natural, if it created us, which have surpassed it in our own way of thinking.
Would you say that we are evolving?
Well, I'd say if there's no way we could be where we are without having evolved.
Yeah, but are we currently? Like, are we
I think
still...
everything's evolving. Mm-hmm. Everything's always changing, so if evolution has changed, then...
I don't know, but if you end up preventing the things that would lead to change, would we be, like... Would that be evolving or not? I guess.
It depends on your perspective. I'd say it's devolving, but because it's still change, some might say it is a form of evolution.
Because, like I'm seeing it as, like, if something is exposed to something that, I don't know, that could kill it, right? And the select few survive, and they continue, and they move on.
Natural selection, yeah.
And then the next ones won't die to that. And you can see that as evolving, right? Yeah. But if we prevent us from ever even, I guess, being able to resist it, then you're not necessarily... Would you necessarily be evolving? Because, I mean, you wouldn't die to it. Like, you would be improving so that you wouldn't have to even face it. But are you necessarily evolving?
That's a good question. I mean, he's more or less asking...
An animal? Is that what we're going on about? Like an animal that's killing people and then you kill it? And then you don't have to...
No, I think he's saying, like... if evolution usually occurs in this specific way, and that specific way is not happening to us at all, in what way are we evolving?
Mm-hmm. Are we even evolving at all?
Yeah.
I'm sure there are different ways of there's like the fact that evolution really stems down to what we experience and how we deal with that experience, and that changes subtly our genetic
Yeah,
makeup.
like for example, if like we said,
as long
like,
as we're experiencing things, we are evolving.
Yep, I agree. I think if a bunch of people are exposed to this one thing that is harming them in some way,
even
our
if you're
body
like,
is going to.
So if we're experiencing it, then we're evolving, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
We're
always evolving because you're always experiencing something.
If you don't experience it, like if you find a way to basically keep yourself from experiencing it, then would you be evolving?
Well, then that's
in
like
a different way. You wouldn't be evolving
experiencing
relative to that thing, but you'd be evolving relative to something else. There's always another problem.
Like, for example, I mean, you're looking at a TV screen, right? I mean, it hurts your eyes, right? I bet in a billion years.
It's really true, because there have been postulations on what humans would look like. Our eyes, we think, would grow much larger with our irises.
I think we would probably have like a resistance to this sort of.
We'd grow larger eyes.
We would have a resistance to this light.
LCDs.
It was
before we go any further, I want to go back to objectivity, right?
Right.
Okay.
Do we all agree that it's possible for humans to reach that sort of lack of bias?
You think it's possible that humans can reach a lack of bias?
In certain ways, but I mean, like.
So by your definition, what is objectivity?
With
I feel like this is the most difficult question to go
It's
over.
like without bias, no bias whatsoever. You say something,
bias.
absolutely no bias.
I mean, what about facts? Like if you say something.
No.
Factual is without bias.
That's why I wanted to clarify. Like that, there are certainly facts that you could say without bias, but I mean, like, in objectivity in terms of like, what's the word?
Opinion?
What?
Opinion?
Sure, I guess. But that's like an antonym, that's like an antonym, so I can't really. I mean, like, objectivity in terms of critiques, you know?
Like,
I guess.
I'm trying to think.
Critical objectivity.
Okay. See, that one's hard. It's because, like,
I think it makes no sense.
Literally everything, any like decision that you make is like based on something.
Based on bias. I agree. I mean, like,
it has to, because like you do something because you believe it's right or wrong, or it's efficient or it's not efficient, or something like that, right?
Well, if everyone has the same subjectivity, then aren't they objective?
Well, but we don't.
Yeah, but if I was just thinking, if everyone was raised up the same exact way, same exact environment, if everyone had
the same bias. No, well, that's kind of part of the reason why people say objectivity is bullshit. Because if you are saying, just by saying I am objective, you're already not objective, because that is bias for yourself.
True. And the fact that when I think of what we have for greed and pride, these are all evolutionary adaptations back when we needed them to survive. You needed greed because who knows if you would have food the next day. But these kinds of things, our pride in ourselves, do shift everything we do. So if there's a way to surpass those through evolution, which it hasn't happened yet, but we haven't really had much time on this earth relative to all of ours past, but I don't know. If we can outgrow our pride and greed and our primitive instincts, then maybe. We'll definitely be a step closer. But I don't know if we'll ever actually achieve true objectivity. We'd have to be completely unpatriotic.
Yeah, that's the thing. We'd have to completely. I mean, like, to do that.
I feel like you'd have to not feel.
Yeah, I think I completely agree. Like, that would make no sense. That's why I think it's bullshit.
You'd have to be Vulcan.
Like,
even Vulcans experience objectivity though, because they don't truly have no feelings.
Like, I hate when people say this is objectively good or objectively bad. It's just,
you're objectively
really
the greatest critic,
works.
so now I objectively
What?
agree that you're objectively the greatest critic. So now I objectively
no,
agree.
I mean, I do it as a meme.
I know.
I hate it so much.
Objectively the
Like
greatest.
I was like on YouTube and like there was I was listening to a Force Unleashed song, right? And then like in the comments it was just like, this movie is objectively better than all the other episodes, and I was like,
The Force Unleashed movie.
yeah. And I was like, that's so, yeah. And it had like 2,000 likes, and I was like, yeah, is that so? It just fucking irked me.
Maybe he was memeing too.
What?
He's probably not memeing.
No, he definitely wasn't. The way he wrote it.
Objectively, he definitely wasn't memeing.
I just fucking hate when people talk about shit like that.
You guys want to talk about the fact that numbers don't really exist?
What do you mean?
I mean, they only exist in our minds. This system of mathematics isn't actually in the outside world. We just perceive the outside world as our system of mathematics.
Neat.
Huh?
Math doesn't exist outside of our brains. We might think, oh, there's two rocks there. There's just a rock and a rock. We think two.
Even then, you're saying a rock. That's singular.
Yeah, even a rock and a rock. Rock.
But
single rock.
But there's like...
It's just a human way of human perception.
But you can say that about like everything.
True.
I mean, you're just bringing it up though.
Yeah.
I guess.
What about like...
But math is like universal.
No, what about like the categorization of things? Because if you break everything down enough, it's eventually like, quote unquote, the same. I guess, you know.
Scientific method doesn't really exist.
But like, math is universal. So how do you?
So is all other classification of universal objects.
Well, exactly. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying too. It's just
okay.
None of this shit exists. Go back inside.
Your life is a lie. Nothing's right. Ups down.
Go to bed. Just sleep. You need it.
It's just we classify things that other people may classify, other species may classify as something else.
Mm-hmm.
We classify.
But it's essentially the same thing, unless they perceive in other dimensions.
You classify things to, I guess, understand them or kind of cope with them.
Mm. The ATM spits out an extra $100 in your favor. What do you do?
Take it.
Isn't that wrong?
No.
All right.
It gave it to me.
Yeah, like
the technology knows all.
Yeah, like I don't like it gave me the extra money. I mean,
praise Google.
But if it gave me less money, oh, you fuck.
Yeah. Who would you tell? $100.
Who would I tell?
100. Yeah, even if you didn't want to keep it, who would you tell? Oh, the ATM gave me a little extra money. He's like, oh, I'll take that. The bank teller just.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't tell anyone because I would definitely take it.
Whoever you told that gave you extra money, they just pocket it themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't fucking tell anyone. I'd be like, all right, thanks. I mean, the machine made a mistake, so.
At a restaurant, you notice your friend's wife engaged in some serious flirting with another man. Tell your friend and possibly ruin his marriage.
Depends on how much I like that friend.
Or mind your own business.
No, I'd tell. I don't care. Like, regardless.
It depends on how much I like that friend and how much I like that girl.
What if you like that friend a lot? And what if you like that girl a lot?
Huh.
I'd tell them, regardless of whether or not I like them.
Yeah, at that point I would tell them. Because it's
possible
more about...
that it would ruin their marriage, or that it could just...
I would, at that point I would...
want the best for both of them, and marriage
I would
is
tell
tying
them,
them
because
both
if I like
down.
them equally, then it's more or less like about what I perceive as morals.
You can avail yourself of a
What?
free. You can avail yourself of a free wireless connection by accessing the account of your next door neighbor. Do it or not.
Sure, why not?
Wait,
if I can access
steal your
it,
neighbor's Wi-Fi or no?
If I can, because it was like left open, then
Nah.
that's their fault, I guess.
I wouldn't do it.
That would.
Because
Not they'd find out.
it's just gay.
You heard
But
it
it's
here
like
first.
it's like
objectively. No. It's objectively gay.
No. I do too many things with my router. First of all.
Yeah.
Second of all.
You just a port forwarding genius, man.
Yeah, pretty much. Second of all, if someone were stealing my internet, I'd be pretty fucking pissed.
Okay, but wait. Is it
So another
good?
like, so that's
is it
like a golden
high
rule.
quality? Like, can I do whatever I want on it?
Dude, it's like 6G, my man.
Okay,
It's
is
the
it better
best
than
internet.
any other internet I can get?
I mean, you don't have to pay for it, so.
If I did, would it be like really expensive? Like that kind of quality, like super expensive and super good.
Sure.
If so, then yeah. I mean, if it's
I would take it.
like, dude, you save money
If
and
it was
get
good, I'd
internet.
fucking steal it. Your colleague is forever taking credit for your and other people's work. Is it okay to exact a little revenge and take credit for their labors?
I wouldn't say it's right, but I'd do it because...
No, I wouldn't want to take credit for that guy's work because it's probably garbage.
Would you?
I mean, if it's good work, yeah. If not, I'd just sabotage them.
True.
Not because...
Here's what I would do, right?
Not necessarily because I gain anything from it, but just because...
I would tell him to go suck a dick, and then I would quit my job. Now, I know what you're thinking, right? That was probably a stupid idea, but if I have someone that toxic in my work environment, then it was probably a shitty job to begin with. So I'm out of there. You know?
I mean, I guess. But I feel like, what if it's a really good job that you've been working 12 years to get up to your current position?
Oh, and then I would
kick his ass. I'd suck his dick. Then he'd
I
be
would
too
be
uncomfortable
like,
to come back into
I would
work.
just go up to him and be like, "Hey, dude, you're a fucking cunt. Can you not?"
Can you not, bro?
And then all things would be right in the world.
If he still goes at it, then I'll fucking sleep with his wife.
Yeah, if he still goes out, then I'll beat him to a pulp.
Is it alright to laugh at a sexist joke?
Why not?
Depends if it's funny.
This is the wrong crowd to ask.
Depends if
we
it's
make
funny.
all the wrong jokes.
Sexism, not good. Sexist jokes, if they're funny, then sure.
See, I mean, the way I see it, it's a joke, so it's not
Well,
necessarily
here's the
to be taken
thing, right?
seriously.
Rarely do I find those kind of jokes funny.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I find,
it's not
like,
even about all right. It's not
just
even
not-
about all right or not. I just rarely find them funny.
The only time I use like sexism as a joke is if I'm making like an ironic poke. Like if I'm talking to a girl and she's like just saying anything
It's not-
like, man, I'm so
I mean,
bad
like,
at
it's a-
science. It's like, oh yeah, women are terrible at that.
Oh yeah, okay. I mean that's pretty funny.
Yeah, but
I'm
it's
not.
not like I actually believe that women are terrible at science. I just
It's
believe
alright
that
too. It's a
women
joke.
singular.
I honestly
This
think
woman
that-
in
I honestly
specific is
think
terrible
that
at science.
If something is intended as a joke, it has no like. It shouldn't
Actual
be.
traction.
It's like if it, as long as it's intended as a joke and it's not supposed to be harmful, it's just
So,
It-
okay, what
fine.
if they... What if it upset the other person?
Diego.
then that doesn't matter. I mean, if the intention was a joke that was not with malice, then it doesn't matter. It was a joke.
It
It's-
depends on your morality too. This is just
Yeah,
a
if-
moral point
If
of
you
view.
if you made a joke that was trying to actually offend someone, that's a different story.
But some people, because of their moral views, even if it's a joke, doesn't make it right. But again, this is the beauty of independence and originality of the human species.
I don't really pay much attention to the jokes. Like, I
Like
mean,
if Mel Gibson did a comedy show about the Jews, then that'd be a bit weird.
Yeah, because he's fucking anti-Semitic. Maybe. I feel like he's done a lot of things. He's
I don't
got
think I
a pretty.
necessarily pay
He's
much
got a pretty
attention
good
to the
resume.
jokes I make. I just kind of like, it's a joke. Maybe I subconsciously restrict myself, but for the most part, it's just, no, I'm gonna make a joke now.
All right, next question.
Your friend is on her way out the door for a significant date and asks whether you like her blouse. Do you tell her the truth? It's hideous.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'll help her out.
I do it all the time. I mean, not, I didn't mean about like someone, like a date, nothing like that. I just meant like just people.
Yeah, we all know you don't go on those.
Yeah.
Alright, those are all the questions.
Girls are gross. They have cooties.
Those are pretty gay questions. Let's make up our own.
This is difficult.
Would you give a man the zuck for $1 million?
The Zuck?
The suck. Would you blow a man for $1 million? Yes. Next question.
Yes. What?
Of course you would.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Is that a
Yeah.
fucking trick
I think
question?
it's so dope. People say no. I mean, it's $1 million.
Dude,
Like,
no
I mean,
homo, but I'd fucking suck his dick, bro.
For like $1.
For $1? No, it's gotta be at least like $3, because then you can buy breakfast.
It's true.
Like $1,
I mean,
what
the
can you buy with
$1
that?
already
Like a stick of gum? You can buy a stick of gum to get the flavor off, but like it's just,
Food, dude.
you know,
Food.
the dick flavor.
But it's like $1 million. Like I don't
Yeah,
know. If
$1
you
million.
would have to-
You'd be insane
Nah,
not to.
See, do you know how much that is? Like, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot.
That's like.
And guess what? Like, I don't have no one else to spend it on. So I mean, no problem.
Dude,
And
we
it's
could
early
buy,
enough in my life.
if we did that, we might be able to buy Friday the 13th of the game for all of us.
Oh man.
Even then, I don't think so, man. It's pretty expensive.
All right, someone put it on Craigslist. Looking for dick to suck for Friday the 13th. 4 Steam keys, please.
Oh, I have a good question. Mm-hmm. Would you give up? How do I say this? I'm trying to figure out a good way to word this.
While you're thinking of it, would you kill a pregnant woman?
How many months?
Wait, okay, no.
Hold on, let me finish the scenario first.
I was gonna say.
This is all off the top of my head. Okay, will you kill a pregnant woman if she is trying... Okay, if she is trying to kill innocent people on a subway car.
Yep.
She is a pregnant woman. You have every opportunity to stop her before she harms anyone, and you won't be harmed yourself. Would you kill her? Let's say 5 months pregnant.
Yeah, I would totally.
If she dies, her baby dies.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that baby's value doesn't have... The baby doesn't have...
a baby.
I mean, especially with how many people are
Doesn't the baby deserve to live as much
Why
as
would
the
it
people
deserve
in
it?
that?
Now, here's the difference, right? In my eyes, right?
Mm-hmm.
This baby has no...
It's a demon spawn.
Yeah, first of all, babies are demon spawn, so that's just objectively the truth.
Second of all, it came from a woman. Like, what? Who wants anything?
It's a trait of life. Like, this person's gonna kill innocent people, right?
Uh-huh.
It's gonna be brought up to do the same or similar.
All right.
I want to try my one.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
So would you give up this, like, ability to sort of view entertainment as, like, this personal sort of thing, to be able to criticize it objectively?
So your ability to appreciate it, would you give up your ability to appreciate entertainment?
To be able to perfectly analyze and objectively, like, look at it?
But you wouldn't be able to enjoy it because you're critiquing it?
You would be able to... Your enjoyment would be based on how objectively good it is. Do you get what I'm saying?
But it would be a better question if you can't enjoy it. Because you're just giving up your enjoyment for the ability to isolate great content and enjoy that great content.
That's true. But I mean, that would also...
So your ability to appreciate it versus your ability to criticize it. What's more important?
The way I see it is what you gain from it. Like, if
Well,
I can criticize a show.
You'd definitely be able to profit off of it more than... Well, you'd monetarily profit off of it versus emotionally profit off of it.
You are the perfect critic. Like, you can analyze something perfectly. Like,
you can never appreciate it.
But it's like to the point where...
You can never enjoy it.
That's a hard... I don't know. I didn't think of that.
The way I see it, though, is, like, you may perfectly criticize it, but no one else does. So, while you may, like, with your ability to be 100% correct... Maybe you're too
objectively correct, and no one appreciates your objectivity.
I was saying, like, because of the way people
world's
are,
not
like,
ready for
you could be wrong, in a sense, because that's not what other people think.
No, but the idea is that you... It's not even about what other people think, is that you know for a fact that what you think is right about something.
I was just saying the profiting off of it.
Oh, you're thinking about money.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
you lose the emotional value, so you might as well get monetary.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying is, like, would you necessarily be able to?
But I would think that you would be able to enjoy the great content.
All right. Well, then you're just losing one thing and gaining two. So yeah, I'd be able to critique it, identify great content, and enjoy
I'd say yeah.
But
if you couldn't enjoy it, I'd say no, because you can't really gain much from it.
Here's the thing that you have to remember: like, isn't perfection kind of boring though? I mean, like, doesn't perfection limit someone, and doesn't it change what someone can do in terms of art? Isn't that the exact opposite of what art is?
Beauty is in
so, like, wouldn't you only enjoy things that are so fucking meticulously done to the point where you would be like a robot in a sense?
Some people enjoy art that is a bunch of different shades of black into a perfect square, or some people enjoy landscapes. Landscapes are chaotic.
You also have to
question
think,
doesn't make
Nature
much
is
sense,
chaotic.
actually.
you also have to think about though, like just because you can critique something and decide whether or not it's perfect doesn't mean you will necessarily experience anything that is perfect.
Huh?
Maybe you're
Because
constantly looking for something that you can
because
never find.
there's no one else would be perfect. No one would have the ability to create something
No
just
one
in that
has your
perfect sense.
objective view of perfection.
Exactly. So you would never necessarily enjoy anything because nothing would be perfect.
You guys can't see it right now, but I'm making like that circle with my finger and like the other 3 fingers like upwards, and it's just like it's mezza bene. You see?
Like the okay thing?
Yeah, the okay hand.
Hey, okay.
Hey.
That's what I do a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
Good.
It's a quality emoji. You guys
I
excited
think that's
for
a
the
loaded
emoji
question
movie?
anyway.
What?
Huh?
The question makes no sense. Forget it.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, it was decent. It got some things out of it.
No, I don't think it makes sense because
Okay.
None of these questions make sense.
I think this one especially does not make sense.
Back to the whole baby, and late woman thing. So the woman has a baby. It's an actual baby though. Like it's out of her. She's kind of carrying it in her arms. Right? It's a baby.
Yeah.
And you could kill either the woman and the baby, or the 2 people, or 2 people. Sorry.
Or any 2 people on
Yeah,
the
or
turn.
any.
So
No,
we're back to
it
the
wouldn't be bad. None of them are bad.
So give me the setting
Oh,
first of all. What's the
So
setting here?
so the pregnant woman didn't kill anyone.
The pregnant woman did kill anyone. It's a woman and she has a baby, right?
So you're forced to kill either of these people?
Yeah, either the 2 people, and they're just average people. They don't have anything
Adults?
special about them. They are adults.
What age?
I want to say, okay, one of them's gonna be mid-20s. The other one is gonna be in late 30s or early 40s.
Or kill
the
those
woman
2,
and the baby.
or kill the
you
woman
kill
and her
those 2,
child.
or you kill the woman and her child.
How good is she of a parent? How that's
There
subjective,
they're just there. It's an average woman.
don't know.
She doesn't
Average
mistreat.
How
What?
old is she?
How old is she? She is in her 30s.
Oh yeah, then I would go for the pregnant woman.
You'd kill the pregnant woman and her child.
Early 30s though. Like
No, I would
30,
kill the
31.
2 people. I mean, sorry.
You'd kill the 2 people. Why?
It's the same principle as before, really.
Deserves the
Just
baby deserves
because
to
the
live.
baby deserves.
I feel yeah, it's just not
And-
equal in terms of years of life. It's not equal.
And Dan, what about you?
It's a difficult one.
Okay, what about if by killing those 2 people, you influence the baby to the point where it is possible, it has increased the chance that the baby grows up to be a worse person.
A worse
a
person.
what?
A worse person.
A worse person.
Yeah.
Then I'd kill the pregnant woman and the baby.
The pregnant woman
I would not kill the pregnant woman and the baby still.
You still wouldn't?
Nope. Because that doesn't change anything, I don't think.
That baby would be forced to live a life of culpability.
It has an increased
I don't
potential.
think-
By being
I don't
alive,
think-
it's
I don't
its
think
fault
dooming I don't
for
think
killing 2
dooming
people.
I don't think dooming it to a higher chance of being a worse person changes much.
It carries the weight of 3 lives on its back, which it's easier to take that negatively than positively. Instead of living life for those 2 people, it might be just hard to live life. Just because I'm alive, these 2 people are dead.
Like their death would influence the baby without a doubt.
It's very difficult to live life like that. It's the same thing for. It's terrible, but children.
Why wouldn't the other 2 people be affected by that?
But wouldn't they?
Because they're already emotionally developed. They could be affected, but
they're not
it's
seeing
reparable.
it as they're not seeing it as like it's our fault that the baby
Like,
died.
these
It's really
people-
just the fact.
That scenario, children do experience that. Like, imagine, you hear all these stories of children who find, like, children of the age of 2 or 3 that find their dad's guns and accidentally shoot their mothers. Those children live with these innocent children live with that, the fact that
Because like it doesn't leave them. Like as they grow up, like people are gonna tell them. They're gonna
Well,
know that it was their
Innocent until proven guilty. I'm still going with the kill 2 people.
no,
dying.
I'm with the French here.
The French.
Guilty till proven innocent.
fault.
It's the French way of law.
I mean, that would make sense, I guess. Yeah.
That's kind of bullshit, in my opinion.
Why?
Well, because being guilty means you
It's
can
already
be
bias. Yeah.
what?
There's already a bias against you, and you're already if you're proven guilty without even all the evidence. So yeah.
I mean,
I don't
I'm
actually
saying
agree with that.
if you're proven guilty, if it's guilty until proven innocent,
It's harder to become innocent.
Exactly. It's harder.
Unjust. It's not justice. Yeah, I don't actually agree with that. But
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
I'd say just like if it was like where like all
if
the
someone
facts
were
and evidence,
mistried and they were treated like a criminal, that's just wrong in every way.
I'm
in
just
a
saying,
twisted way.
If it was like all the facts and information would be able to be provided, then like that'd be different.
In a really twisted way, it's a mercy, killing the child. You're sparing them from a life of being responsible for two people's lives. Yeah, I'd kill the child.
Nah, I still couldn't do it.
Just because the baby has the potential.
Even if it has the potential, but a terrible, terrible potential.
Wait, are we saying it's guaranteed that this is gonna happen?
Oh no, it's just like
it's a chance. Yeah,
it's almost like it is almost guaranteed.
Almost guaranteed.
Yeah, like
the baby will know.
There is a slim chance that it manages to escape this totally okay.
Yeah, I'm still going for the 2 people.
Wow.
You're a dreamer.
This is a young man too that you're killing. It's a young man and an older man. Not older. He's just he is older than the young one, but I mean like he's not.
What if it was 2 women?
How old are they?
2 women, same ages, 25, 30.
Same ages? I'd flip a coin.
Why would you flip a coin?
Well, because they're
to kill
the
a
same
baby.
exact value.
No, a baby. Kill the baby and her mother. Baby and its mother. Sorry, baby and its mother, or kill a young woman and an older woman.
Oh! I thought you were switching the babies.
Nope.
The baby with the 2 women. It's the same case, isn't it?
No.
Much, yeah. Well,
not necessarily.
It's just a different gender now.
Okay. What if it was the women?
We're testing gender bias.
If the women could have kids, but the men couldn't.
That doesn't change anything.
No.
But now there's more potential.
Yeah, because with the women, they can have children.
Remember, my thing isn't about potential. That's Diego's thing.
The women don't have
potential.
Kids. Okay, but by killing the 2 people, okay, men or women, doesn't matter. You would be ending their bloodline. They don't have kids. They don't have family. It is just them left.
They could have kids.
They could.
That doesn't change it. I don't think. I don't think life has any value until it's born. So even if you tell me that this person's going to be born, there's absolutely no value in that until they actually exist.
That's interesting.
What about the value of
wait, would that mean that there's no value for like future generations?
No, if you're 2 months pregnant, you have that thing has no value. Like that, there's no life until
that thing has no value. Okay. I don't believe that it has no value until it's born. Abortion, go ahead.
Oh no, there's a certain. I don't mean born. I mean there's a certain like
developed nervous system.
Months. Yeah.
When it feels pain, it has meaning.
Yeah, I think it's like I don't know how many months it is until it actually starts getting developed.
It's like 5 or 6 when the nervous system is fully developed.
So if there is no value in like the people that aren't born yet, would you be okay with everything ending right now where it's at?
What do you mean?
As in, like no more children, no more kids.
Yeah, that's not a big deal.
We're done.
I don't like that's in some ways a big deal, but in other ways not a big deal.
Doesn't that increase the value though? Because we're dead, we're gonna die.
Yeah. I was gonna say
we are the last generation.
We'd be the most valuable species because there will be none left. It's like a fine wine when there's. It's like when artists die, their stuff is more valuable.
Which is messed up. Like that sucks, dude. You're only like.
Well, it's because they can't produce anything else, so it's rare now.
But doesn't that? I mean, just knowing that, like, you're only gonna be worth something once you're gone.
What?
Well, that's how we value life. It's always worth something in some way.
I think life
might be emotional.
I don't know.
I just think it's interesting.
Anyone else have any different topics?
Topic
of philosophy is so vague that we're always stuck. There's so much to argue about.
Alright.
How about the original idea that the only true philosophical question is whether or not to commit suicide? The only true decision in your life is whether or not to die.
Why is that? Why?
This is again with the nihilistic principles. I'm just thinking that's why live.
Why is that the ultimate decision though?
Because why either live or die? Why do you want to live? That's the ultimate question. Why do you want to live, or why don't you want to live?
I think
My problem with that
question
is that it's the epitome of
Vague.
what's the word? It's the epitome of a question that answers itself, right?
How would you answer it,
Why even ask that question? Just fucking kill yourself. Or why even
No. See, but like
that question is a sort of paradox, I think.
I think it's weird because it's like, why live, right?
You'd have to walk me through
But it's
that.
also, why die?
Yeah, that's what it is asking. It's like it is the only question because it's an encompassing question.
See, you could kill yourself, right? Because there's no point to life. But why would you? Just because there's no point?
Ooh. That
It's not like
reminds me
you're
of
gaining anything from
another
dying.
very meaty subject that I'll ask after this.
But there's equally no point to death, isn't there?
There's no point. See, exactly. There's no point to anything. You're literally just there. There's nothing.
But like that's why I have a problem with that question.
Why?
Well, because it's a question that makes fun of asking questions in a way.
I think it was a witty question.
I think it's interesting because
No.
If you're a professional philosopher, you kind of get sick of people.
there would be.
I do think it's an interesting question, but it's a question that
It's not an actual question. It's more of
because there would be no wrong. There's no wrong answer really. Then again, there's no wrong answer to this.
There's no right answer.
I mean,
Yeah, but I just mean like, either way, it's the same outcome.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
How about what do you think happens after death? Or after death
What happens after
or
death?
afterlife? Yeah.
we rot in a grave.
What about the soul?
There's none.
Then how are we conscious? Why are we so different than animals?
Well, I mean, I can't give you the science.
Isn't our soul located right below the rib cage between the heart and that big orbiting ball of blue light that shows up on ultrasounds?
That humans totally didn't make up.
Yeah. What about God? No, I want to stick to the death thing. Do you
Is
guys
there a higher
believe in
power?
life after death?
Life after
Nope.
death? I don't believe in it. But like, I'm not someone to say that doesn't exist simply because like.
I want to believe in it, but
I
It'd be
think
cool.
I think it goes against everything that.
what about Buddhism?
I think it goes against every a shred of common sense that I have.
Why?
Life after death.
Yeah, but why?
It just
Why
when something common sense is like this sort of thing where you don't need to think about it much, and it's just like, yeah, that's not possible.
Like,
right?
obviously. But
Like,
why not?
For me, it's like obviously this is not possible, but I can't really like tell you why. It's weird.
I think it's
If you asked a
because-
peasant during the Dark Ages, they'd say obviously it's not possible to go to. They didn't know what space was, but obviously it's not possible that
it's
heaven didn't exist in the veil of stars. They'd ask if you'd say, "Oh no, it's just like highly pressurized burning gas in space." They say, "No, it's actually holes in the sphere of the gods, and that if you they're little holes that you can crawl through."
Assuming your consciousness is in your brain, right? Your mind is what the brain does, right? So without your brain, if your brain is shut down, you are done.
So when the
You
body
are a
dies,
brain.
you die. You are your body.
Yes.
You die.
Yes, you are your brain. You are your brain, and you are your body.
I know, but then like it kind of makes me like wonder like why everything does like the things that it does. Like why does our brain function this way? Oh, well, because you have a series of systems that do a series of things, blah blah. Okay, why did those do those things? Because there's smaller things that do other things, and it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, right? And then you get into those things that like don't necessarily have any reason as to why they're doing things.
Well, that's because some things we don't understand.
Exactly. No, exactly.
But
That's it. It's because
I
we
have
don't
a
know.
lot of things we
I have an
don't understand.
interesting question to.
Exactly. You don't know.
I have an interesting question to the. You are your body. Your brain is your body.
Okay.
What happens to the brain once the body dies?
Well, that's not a question I can answer. Clearly,
No,
It's
no,
the question
not. I'm
one
talking
can answer.
physically. What happens to the brain?
Does it like just stop?
It does. It rots. It's broken
Exactly.
down. It's eaten by other things. It becomes
Yeah.
dirt. So do we become dirt? Technically, are we becoming what fuels plants in the future after we die.
Okay, so you're
And if we
speaking in the
become-
sense that we become.
We're displaced.
Well, that's like the same argument that we are the stars.
Yeah.
Because we're made of star
We're
stuff.
made of stardust. Yeah.
So, but like that, the
And
thing
we
about
will
that
be
is
stardust again.
the thing about that is that if we don't have our consciousness, then we're not that thing. I don't think.
If we don't have our
Like,
consciousness,
we are-
I'd agree that we aren't alive.
Yeah,
In
we
the
aren't.
same
We aren't
sense.
alive, and we aren't. We.
But plants don't have consciousness, we'd argue, yet they're conventionally alive. And if
We don't have.
if we become the stuff that fuel plants, could it be argued that we become the plants?
What makes something alive?
Oh, there's like a bunch of different definitions.
Here's the way. I
Definition
see
of
it.
a life.
I'm not going anywhere after death unless I have my consciousness.
I don't know. I just the way I see it now, and like this is like the reason like I guess this kind of leads to why there is religion is like it makes more. I feel like it makes more sense for there to have been something that is all powerful to the point where it can exist even though nothing necessarily exists and create stuff than stuff existing when there was nothing. You know?
That requirements for life requires DNA made up of units called cells, obtain and use energy, grow and develop, ability to reproduce, respond to living, homeostasis,
So it has to
internal
have DNA.
balance,
Like it has to have the structure of
and
DNA.
changes
the
over
problem
time.
with this-
Well, you need
problem with this
DNA to
definition-
reproduce.
The problem with this definition is it's the human definition.
No, well, yeah, this is the human definitions of what humans call alive.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Basic
That's like
life,
why-
not like
That-
This isn't requirement for intelligent life.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is that that might not necessarily, but
Yeah. But
be what-
Diego was asking what is required for something to be.
Oh,
alive.
okay.
That just kind of I think that's interesting because it's like a set requirement. Like it has to have the structure of DNA. It has to be DNA. So if there is something that functions like a life would, right?
Well, the
but
reason
it doesn't have the structure of DNA, as in like that set ordered like that structure, then it wouldn't
Doesn't.
necessarily be alive.
That's the
It
interesting
would-
thing about viruses. Technically, they aren't alive. They only fulfill most of these requirements. They don't have their own DNA. They require other life to reproduce, but they can reproduce with the help of other life. They use other things' DNA.
Which is so weird. Like
Yet it's still alive. It's still not alive. It's partly
Yeah.
alive. It depends.
I don't
It
know.
wants to live, therefore it's alive. It fights for life. Is that all it takes to be alive?
Is that how you would define life? What would you define life as?
I mean, I
I
think
don't-
that's a pretty safe definition.
Okay, but if let's say again there is something that doesn't fit that DNA requirement or something like that, right? Would you consider it alive?
Depends
Or,
on
or
what
would
else
you
it fits.
or would you base it off of that definition?
If it fits everything else except the DNA,
I
yet
mean, it
it's
doesn't
still
necessarily have to be the DNA. It could be
Yeah.
other things. But like,
If
let's
it-
say again, it didn't fit. Like,
depends
one,
how
two
it
of those.
lives. I'd only be able to identify if it fights to live if it lives something I'd say conventionally, like
As in, like if it
a
if
virus
it tries
fights
to reproduce,
Yeah,
if it
a
tries
virus
to,
tries to live because it infects other things to keep reproducing itself. It wants to make more of itself, which is the evolutionary goal. It's why we are where we are.
Mhm.
If there's a rock
So
that's smashing its head, or like a rock life form that keeps breaking itself apart into multiple pieces, I don't know if that's alive.
that leads me to ask kind of thing. All right, so killing like life, like, are you guys okay with like just ending life?
What?
Are you
Part of-
okay with ending life?
This
Like,
is where
okay,
I'm
let's say
kind of
there's let's say let's say it was a small animal, right? A tiny like organism that you could
An
probably
ant.
hold in your hand,
An ant.
right?
Let's talk
Or
about
an ant.
ants.
Would you be okay with wiping out all the ants?
I wouldn't feel bad, but I wouldn't actively do it.
Why would I mean like? Why
Here's
would I do it?
here's my confliction. Part of me always, whenever I'm just thinking in my head, I always end whatever philosophical topic with, why does it matter? It doesn't matter. But I don't agree exactly with Momo's definition of why life is important, or why life, is that what you'd say? Why life is what? Important?
Human life.
Human.
Conscious life.
value.
Conscious
value,
life,
yeah?
not in general.
So because it can die, what would you say life is? Human life is. Because it can die, it's important.
Because it can die, we give it value. Yeah.
It's valuable. Sorry, yeah, it's valuable. I think life is valuable because if you imagine exactly what is required for life to start, how many little discrepancies things have to check off. We have to be in like a Goldilocks zone around our star. Our star has to be a certain type of star, or else it'll explode too early and wipe out all life.
Now I know where you're going with this.
It's just so hard to develop life.
Would that matter to us if we were unending?
Unending?
I would argue that it wouldn't.
I
would argue that we wouldn't have that value
because
anymore.
The difficulty for that life, that unending life, to start. For life to start, so many things need to be present. So many things that it's... If you're thinking in the infinity of the universe, or suspected infinity of the universe, then yeah, it's abundant. But relative to everything we've seen and all that we know, it's extremely rare.
But
our vision of our galaxy.
But if a human life was unending, would we don't even, first of all, we don't even put value in life for the reasons you listed. Like, even if that is why you think
life is valuable. There are intrinsic reasons why, yeah.
We don't put that value in for like those reasons. Some people might, but in general we usually don't.
Yeah.
But
we do the intrinsic values, like happiness.
If we were to be infinite, a human life,
it would be valuable because that life...
Why would life be valuable?
Because it would have taken so much for the first step.
We know why that won't matter. Because if we are unending, then eventually every single bit in every single part of the universe will have life. Every single part. I mean, if we're unending, then so is everything else, right?
Why would it make everything?
Why would everything else be?
What makes us? I mean, then that's a different argument. What makes us special enough to be the only unending thing?
Because we achieved it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like every other life.
If it's kind of like hippie. But just because that life started, I feel there is a value to it. Because of the randomness required for that life. But even then, the fact that I use random, life is random.
But what I'm saying is that
spontaneity have importance, or?
Okay, but then at that point, the value in life would be that you're immortal.
No, see,
it would be valuable because it is present. The fact that life is there means it's valuable, not because it can die, but the fact that it started. I find it's valuable.
What makes
because it's so damn difficult to get, especially for conscious life, because so much more is required for conscious life.
Well, why is our life more valuable than other life?
Because subjectivity.
We assign. I mean, we are people. I mean, we're gonna favor our own species. That's obvious.
All right, but
what about loyalty and a sense of pride?
I know. What about like lesser creatures? Okay, let's say like viruses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say they are considered alive, like 100%, no doubt, right? Even though they may not fit necessarily and everything. How
about bacteria?
Or bacteria would say they're alive, whatever, right?
Yeah, bacteria.
You would probably. They are, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, good. Okay, bacteria alive. You would consider them less than a normal animal, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But why? Well, why is their life any lesser?
I'd say abundance.
Yeah, abundance, and also what makes up an animal.
And
it's sort of like
it's a lot less difficult for a bacteria to form than it is for a multicellular, conscious, sentient life form to form.
Okay, let's say it's just from one animal to another, right? Something that isn't as evolved, but still getting there.
So like what? A cat and a...
What would be less than a cat? Would you consider a mouse less than a cat?
A fish?
Yeah.
Or a mouse?
Or a fish? No, a fish works because it doesn't have like legs, nothing. Can't transition to land or stuff like that, right? It's stuck in that area.
Sure.
But cats can swim.
Cats are cute.
Okay, right?
It's cute.
You'd consider one less than the other, even though.
Yeah, because cats are cute.
I wouldn't really consider it less.
But would you be
I
okay?
would
Would you
favor
be?
the cat. Yeah, of course.
I'd be
favor the
more
cat?
favorable to the cat because the cat can intrinsically help me because it likes me
It-
and I
yeah,
like that it
it-
likes me.
Yeah, exactly. It's cute. Like,
It's
So-
advantageous to me.
yeah.
If you were out of the question,
Literally-
if it was
literally-
just-
It doesn't
Sorry,
disregard
fish.
either of those
Diego.
species' importance,
This whole
but it's
all
more
these
important
questions
to me.
boil down to our perception of things and
It's
self.
all subjective. It's a
Yeah.
human subjectivity.
which really sucks, you know.
Yeah, I
sucks.
think it makes sense. Perfect sense.
Oh yeah, I mean, it just sucks just because I want to know.
Like if
Without-
lions became the top of the food chain, then they deserve it, but they didn't.
I just,
They
I
were.
just wish, I wish there was an explanation for everything, you know,
Like what?
like a set explanation.
I feel like that was
Well, then
explained
that would be
pretty well.
boring.
I mean, it would be boring, but I mean, I just like in a way just wish for it, just because like then like you would know the answer to the questions.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
I think
why is this life worth more?
a
than something else?
big part of why looking for answers is fun is because you don't know the answer right away.
It's for
So
you
having
to
a set
decide
answer
why.
for- What?
Why is our life worth more? It's for you to decide. It might not be.
Yeah, that's another
Okay,
thing.
wait. Okay, what about if something was more advanced than us?
It's
Well,
life
that's not
it's
the that's
better.
not.
I'd say it's worth more.
So would
That's-
you? Okay, like let's say it's.
I don't. I
it's-
think this question is more about what the human race would consider more, and we would clearly still favor ourselves because that's just our selfish attribute.
But I'd say
this
it's
is,
more
this is
important.
you though. I'm not talking about the whole human race.
Oh,
I
okay,
wouldn't lay
so
my
you're
life
talking
down
about-
to it, but I'd
If
say
it
it's more
was
important. the
eliminating
grand scheme.
us for something that was superior and would end up advancing like normal, would you?
Can you repeat it?
Like, would you choose the survival of something that was more advanced than you would something like us that's less advanced?
Can you explain what more advanced means?
Okay, it'd be a similar scenario how I guess bacteria to something, you know, like a some living organism.
Oh, so like it's literally like
It would be more
Further
advanced,
along.
above.
Further
Yeah.
along the evolutionary chain.
further along the evolutionary line.
Well, I doubt it would be up to us to decide that.
No,
think it's
if
up
we
to
could,
them.
if you alone could, would you?
Well, why would... This is me ruining the question, but why would we need to? I feel like the people higher above the evolutionary chain have more influence over...
Yeah. I was
Happens
But
thinking.
you
in
you wouldn't necessarily need to. It's kind of similar to again the bacteria and something. Like you don't need to like eliminate the bacteria, but like in the situation that you would, or you could.
How about if you were... I think if you were looking at two species, currently as we are, one species will evolve to become greater than humans. One species will die out. Or one species... I don't know. One species will evolve to be that of humans.
Okay, that's a different question.
And these species are both endangered.
I think
and
that
without
kind
your
of
help.
ruins what Diego was
No,
trying
no,
to
it
say.
is. It's.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
it's
that's
a similar
kind of
question. It's
Well, I think that destroys the selfishness because you have no connection to this other race.
so either save yourself or save another better species.
Mhm.
Okay, so say there's an impending asteroid. You have the ability
yeah,
to
okay,
shift
that's
the
better.
asteroid to this other planet, or you can let the asteroid hit you, and wipe out your life on the planet.
Mhm.
But I'd wipe out our life because imagine how much more progress
Yeah,
that
I would
other
have to.
species is making.
I mean, I would have to be as unbiased as possible. I would wipe out our life.
Mhm.
I mean, like if I have a decision that big in my hands, I can't really just decide. Oh yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Let me just destroy this other people.
Let me just destroy this objectively better.
It's
society.
sort of like remember that scene in The Dark Knight
Which one?
where
That
both
was-
boats. Where both boats. did
Oh yeah,
press
yeah,
their
I loved
buttons.
that scene.
I really do too. And it was just like even the prisoners and even the kids, even like the parents didn't want to subject themselves to the Joker's level.
Yeah.
That's
Would you
a
guys
similar-
just not press the button?
in that situation? It's hard to say.
Well, it's
Well,
better
but
to
knowing
die
the
without.
outcome, it sort of shifts it.
It's better to die without guilt than to die guilty
But why would
for
you
a
feel
reason
guilty?
like that. Because you've ended all those lives while you didn't.
But you
have
did
to.
it for the safety of like yours and the people with you. Just all those other people.
But there are still other women and children on the other boat
There's women
that are
and
just
children on
like you.
both.
Yeah.
No, it was literally just one of them was.
Oh wait,
full
yeah,
of
one of them was
prisoners.
prisoners. Shit.
One of them was full of prisoners. The other one was first full of men, women, and children.
Oh, really?
Innocent men, women, and children. Yet the boat full of innocent men, women, and children did not press the button to blow up the other boat, and neither did the prisoner boat.
Part of it's because you're being
Really-
forced into doing it.
And then the Joker tried to fucking fuck it up, but he failed.
That was a really good Joker.
That movie was amazing. And then you got shit like Suicide Squad.
Hey man, it's like one of the most popular rated movies. Did you see it got like teen rating of the year? Wow.
Suicide Squad has shitty scores.
What do you guys feel about religion?
I'm fine with it.
I think if you keep to yourself about it, then sure.
I don't even think about keeping to yourself. I think it's more about respect.
Yeah, respecting other people's
think if you're
faiths,
just-
not trying to
if-
force
I mean-
your faith on others.
Yep, exactly. I mean, there's really nothing wrong with it as long as you're not like a dick.
I feel like there are certain sects that start it. Radical sects. Just, at least today, in today's age, religion is more easily seen as aggressive and an instrument of death than it is as an instrument of faith. But
Well,
again,
that's
you only
consequence of
hear
what
bad
religion
things in the
has.
news anyways.
Are you guys' families religious at all?
Mm-hmm.
My family was religious. I used to go to religion class every like after school I think like once a week, and I used to go to church every Sunday. Then I learned more and more about the Christian faith, and it was only recently that I actually learned what Jesus died for.
Our sinuses?
Yeah, but like what sins did he die for? Do you guys know?
Nope.
Whose sins did he die for? Do you guys know?
Nope.
Nope.
The original, it's the original sin. The Old Testament is all about Adam and Eve and how they fucked up and how they were cast down, and all their ancestors are now cast down to this place in the dirt, and they were treated as the vermin they are because they sinned, and God is punishing them because they're sinful creatures. And then Jesus comes down, dies for the original sin, the sin of Adam and Eve, and cleanses humanity for everything, thus ending the Old Testament and starting the New Testament. Well, he was part of the New Testament, so he already started it technically. But it's just, instead of Hammurabi's code, eye for an eye, he switched it to turn the other cheek. Yet people still, like pastors and people devout to the Christian faith who study it all their lives, still use the Old Testament like it's...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They say, oh no, we can't do that because the Old Testament says it. The Old Testament was rendered null.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to our Lord, your boy, Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But, like, he died for our sins. I took religion class. I went to church. I didn't know what sins he died for. They never told us.
Yeah.
They were just like, oh, yeah, he died for our sins. Okay.
I was Christian for a majority of my life, and I just had no information. Like, I knew nothing about being Christian.
I was actually born Jewish.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, you fucking Jew.
Yeah,
Is
honestly. I'm
my
fucking
parents
dirty.
have tried to basically make me
I'm a-
Christian.
I'm a
And,
religious turncoat.
they'd always take us to church and like try to get us to like read the Bible, which I never did, by the way.
I mean, either.
My dad bought us multiple Bibles.
I still
And
have
I-
a Bible in my bookshelf.
The only times I've ever opened them up is when I was actually like forced to.
Like during communion. My first communion.
Good old grape juice and weird little cracker things.
Jeezy crackers.
But yeah, I think it was more recently that I kind of saw everything as kind of like, I don't think so anymore.
Yeah, my brother rebelled against us having to go to religion classes. Introduced me to atheism. I'm like, hey, that's not that bad.
I know.
My mom still believes in faith for the sake of faith, which I guess is good. Because it's not... She doesn't... I don't know if she believes in like some higher power walking us along like marionettes, but she believes in people should be nice to people, and she believes that the point of life is to improve life around you, to make things better in that sense.
The only reason why I don't say that there isn't a God is just because, like, one, I don't actually know. Like, I could not 100% say, without a doubt, in my mind, no, there is no God.
if there is a God,
He's a cunt.
he's a little bitch. No, but he's not doing anything. If it is a God, it's a science experiment to see what would happen.
I forgot, what is it called? Is it Let me one sec. Let me check real quick. It's where basically you believe that there is a God. He basically set everything up and then just kind of like.
Oh, it's the creationists.
Creationists? No.
Deism.
Deism. That was it.
A God that.
Thomas Jefferson. Creationists are the people that believe that everything was created just the way it is now.
Oh, okay.
And,
Creationists are the ignorance spreaders and people who strongly disbelieve all information clearly in front of them.
It was actually when I learned about this when I was really kind of like, nah, I don't think so anymore. You know, because I saw it as like that would make a lot more sense. I feel.
Mm-hmm.
To have that.
Sorry, agnostic is undecided.
Yeah, and that's why I went to more agnostic, just because I don't know. So.
I'm more atheist. Actually, I'm 100% atheist.
You are 100% without a doubt in your mind believe that there is no God.
Yeah.
I don't believe in a God, but if there is, I'm not totally against that prospect. I just don't believe that there's a God that's
Here's
like,
the thing,
oh,
right?
my son, there is a purpose for you. No, there is.
Oh, yeah, like, no, I wouldn't say that.
There's no one walking us through this mess.
I see it as like...
But it's possible that someone created us. We don't know what happened. Somehow, nothing became everything in a split second.
I mean, this is like a... Again,
I can't explain that.
One of the reasons why there is, like, why people believe that there is, like, you know, religion is just, like, for the explanation of the unknown, right?
Oh, there was a very interesting... the book Sapiens teaches us exactly why... like, if you take 1,000 chimpanzees, put them in one place, there's fucking chaos. Take 1,000 humans, put them in one place, they can get along pretty well. They might even start a village, start a little town, and start a little tiny civilization. Do you know the huge difference between 1,000 chimpanzees and 1,000 humans? At least early humans, let's say. Early tribal humans, Ice Age humans. They both have a form of language. Chimpanzees can make a certain amount of noises in a certain arrangement to say, oh, there is a lion by the river, or there is an eagle coming down. If they make these screeches, all the other monkeys look up. They're like, oh no, eagle. Humans were able to speak in some form of language in a certain arrangement and say the same things. There is a lion by the river, there's an eagle above us coming down. The main difference between the human speech and the chimpanzee speech that allowed humans to group up together and to create villages and societies instead of tiny little groups, tiny little, not even tribes. But the main difference is that humans were capable of fiction. Humans could say, my spirit animal is the lion. My tribe's animal is the lion. That it's a form of uniting a species under one common goal, a common fiction, which is the purpose of religion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say it's fiction because people do believe that it is true, but
it is fiction.
For the sake of my argument, you can totally disagree with me, but it was a fiction that humans created so that they can unite and actually join forces under a common goal.
Yeah, I could see where you're coming from without
instead of chaos. If there is no common goal, then everyone's just going to go, oh, I want to do this, so I'm just going to take this person's shovel and steal all the food from the little town hold that we have and just run away and get fat. And no, that's all for the greater good because my God says I should do this and I should follow my God.
And that makes sense. Like that, I can see why. Like that is it's pretty solid.
The reasons why humans are capable of fiction.
With me, it's like everything exists, right? You know, like we're something, right? But like, why is there something? You know?
Why do we exist?
Yeah, it's just like the fact that there is something that is here that can make us exist. The fact that like there are things, right? There is no nothing. There is something, right?
And the fact that there was at one point nothing, yet somehow there is something.
And now there is something. And like that's why like it would make a lot of sense for there to be some all-powerful being that could literally do anything to create something out of nothing and exist when there was nothing, which still doesn't necessarily make sense. But
at this point, there's no way for us to even imagine what it was like.
Yeah. Then there for just to be nothing and then something.
There are interesting theories, like there are like plates of the universe in different dimensions, and when they rub together in a certain friction, a new dimension emerges, which is our
But
dimension.
those would be something, wouldn't they?
Something on different planes of existence that we can't even.
Yeah, but
see.
But like those planes of existence would be something. They're like the fact
that's not really a higher power.
No,
it's just another reality, another something that we perceive as nothing. But again, it's something that might have been nothing. What was the original something is, I think, what you're getting at.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Oh, I was just saying, though, like, I was saying, even in that scenario, wouldn't those planes be something? Because they would be separate entities.
It is something that something must become. We see it as something must become something. There's no way that nothing can become something, but nothing did become something. At least what we perceive as nothing did become what we perceive as something.
Mm-hmm.
I like the theory of like a grandfather universe.
Yeah, but there has to. Yeah, that theory doesn't make much sense because there has to have been something that came from.
Exactly, but what made that something? Where did that something come from?
But the problem with that,
Diego,
is that if you think there is a greater power, then that had to come from something as well.
No, exactly. No, that's the thing. Like that's what I'm saying. It makes more sense for there to have been something that could have the possibility of being something and nothing.
But that.
I know it's literally a question,
but I think that's why I think it makes more sense that nothing came to something.
Well, even if nothing came to something, then that could prove how God exists. God was a nothing, and then God was a something, which created a nothing, which created a something from nothing. Yet he needed to be in contact of nothing. This is why humans can't understand what happened.
Exactly. Like that's why I'm saying that's why I'm not saying that there isn't anything.
Maybe one day we'll evolve to be able to understand it.
Like that concept, you just cannot.
I mean, we can theoretically look back into the past far enough if we use.
We can look back into the past of our something, but we could never reach into what was the nothing.
I mean, everything gets, I guess, smaller and smaller. Or
we understand that there was nothing at one point because for some reason something was there when there wasn't something.
Aren't there already theories about how this all happened?
Just the Big Bang. We don't have
but
any actual
like a
theories
very
on what caused the Big Bang.
specific.
No, everything that we have, there had to have been something to create the Big Bang from nothing.
But I remember I watched the whole thing about how it happened.
Those things, there would have to be something, and to make those things, there would have to be something, and something.
It's like a grandfather universe, the multiverse theory.
There's so much, dude.
I'm sure there's some things in it with string theory. I don't really understand string theory. I'm pretty sure like there's somehow scientifically proven that there's 11 parallel dimensions and that this particle moves at this point and it's tied to another particle.
What is string theory exactly again?
It's I don't even really. It's just lots of quantum physics. I'm pretty sure. I know virtually nothing about it except there was an interesting experiment taking two like brother particles. And they moved the particle in one direction, and then the brother particle, super far away, under no forces, moved the same way. So like just because this one particle is tied with this particle, so just because it moves, the other one has to move. So there's like invisible strings connecting everything. I think that's the basis of it. I don't know.
Talking about string theory?
Yeah, I don't know how far it goes in depth.
String theory is pretty interesting.
It does sound interesting.
I don't really like it because I don't fully understand it, and I don't understand where 11 parallel dimensions comes from.
It's pretty ridiculous. It's like it's the problem with string theory is that there's no way to prove it, so it's
There's so much that
it's really just
it's shooting in the dark. I feel
there's no point in living. Everyone should just die.
I actually very heavily disagree with the no point in life thing.
Quiet. No, you should die too. We all need to die.
Okay.
No, wait, no, actually, no. What did you say though?
I said I heavily disagree with the no point in life thing.
No, but wait. What is the point in life though?
The point in life is whatever we as humans give it as value.
it's subjective.
Yeah, but that's.
My mom's point in life is to make other people around her happy. My point in life is to be the best person I can be.
Like that's the reason why saying there's no point in life is interesting.
From an objectively, there is no point in life.
Fuck you.
I'm the objective one to decide. I couldn't think of a reason, like a point to life, I guess.
Well, in the main scheme of things, anything you do will be lost. So it's up to you to interpret whether or not it's pointless.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but that point of view is as pointless as it suggests.
But it's true. It's a fact.
Yeah,
but but that point of view.
Well, it might not be my point of view, but it is factual. It's up to you.
I'm saying that point of view.
What point of view? The fact that we're all gonna die and that everything we do will be forgotten.
Yes, but that let me just finish.
Not a point of view. It's a fact. That point of view
is a criticism of what it says. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, I really don't.
Yeah, no.
Saying something like that is a criticism is a criticism of life and the meaning of it. But it's also a criticism of its own statement.
You're being critical of people. I'm being by saying that even though it is factual, it is critical of people that say, "Oh, I want to be remembered." You won't be. That is a fact. I'm people who say, "Oh, I want to be remembered before I die." "Oh, I want to improve society."
That's not okay. You still don't get what I'm saying.
I thought I did. I have no idea what you're saying.
No.
What are you saying?
This statement that life is pointless, right?
No, that's not my statement. You're not understanding. I'm saying everything any of us will ever do will be forgotten. The human race will end. This is a fact.
Yes.
Does that make life pointless? I'm not saying it does.
The fact that you are saying it is a point of view, like you...
It's not a point of view. It's a fact. I'm not saying it makes life pointless. It's up to you to determine that. I'm not saying the fact that we're all going to die and the fact that none of us will be remembered.
You said it earlier today that you view, in a nihilistic view, you view life as pointless, endless. Like, it has no
And I also
meaning.
view life as very valuable because of the fact that it exists.
Okay,
I'm a conflicted human being.
Assuming that you, like you said earlier today, you view it in the nihilistic fashion.
Which I do not.
But you said that earlier today.
And I also
said... It's
in
in the recording.
And what else is in the recording, Momo? The fact that I said that all life is valuable for the fact that it exists. And the fact that I seconds ago just say that I'm a conflicted human being. Open your ears, you fucking bitch.
The problem with that point of view, Dan, is
what
that
point of view? I have multiple.
The point of view that life is pointless.
I'm an objective human, Momo. Objectively.
The problem with that point of view is that it's a criticism of the statement as well.
What statement? Can you be specific? Stop using like the and pronouns and.
Okay, it's a point of it's a.
Which point of view? Stop saying the point of view.
Saying that life is pointless.
Yeah.
Is the criticism of saying life is pointless.
What?
Saying life is pointless is criticizing the fact
that you're making the statement. It's just
saying life is pointless is.
Saying life is pointless is pointless.
Exactly. That's
saying
why I
life
don't like
is pointless.
That's why I hate.
There's no reason to it, but there's no but there's no reason to do anything.
That's why I hate the point of view. It just makes no sense.
What do you mean? It does make sense.
It does make sense.
It's just not necessary.
It's redundant.
It's because if you try and
waved away.
Devolve something to being pointless, then I could also devolve what you're saying.
Yeah, the fact that you're saying it's pointless is pointless.
Yeah,
you could, but I'm saying.
You could, but that doesn't necessarily mean there's a problem with it. You could.
But not saying anything is pointless. Saying some things is pointless. Living life is pointless. Existing is pointless. Having matter is pointless. It goes on. It's an infinite loop that is always disproved by itself. But
exactly. That's why.
So people
that's a problem.
People who say life is pointless should go to the nothing that the universe once was. Is what you're saying.
What I'm saying is that people who say life is pointless shouldn't care about life. It's just
life is pointless doesn't mean you can't find value in it.
What?
It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean.
Hold on.
That they
Let me
can't
try
say
to figure
it,
out the definitions. Life is pointless.
Now here's the thing, Dan.
It has no point. It has no objective, but it still has value.
Wait, how does it have value?
The problem with that?
How or why does it have value though?
Because it exists.
Because it exists. That's why it has value.
Now here's the problem with this, right? You're mixing up a subjective point of view with this sense of objectivity.
No, I don't think you know the definition of saying life is pointless. Let me switch it up. Life has no objective.
But we do have objectives with life.
Life has no ultimate objective, I feel. Any objective that you
live
can
and
do
die,
now
that's the
will not be
objective.
remembered.
That's the objective. An end is the objective. How is that
An
not
end
an
is the
objective?
Why is that the objective, though?
All right. Well, if an end,
Because
if an
it is
end,
the end. That is the end.
if an
Then-
end,
then-
if,
that is
hold on,
what
if
we're
an end
doing.
is
No,
the
but-
objective,
But the objective
Yes.
is what you're striving for. So you're saying you're striving for death. You want
No.
death. That's what you're trying to get.
That's
the object is death. Let's all kill ourselves right now. Well, the minute
No.
you're born, don't even
That's-
be born. That is the objective,
not
not
what
to
I'm
be born.
saying.
no, but
Then
that
what are
is
you
literally what you just said.
That the objective is an end because without an end there is no meaning.
The objective is an end, so we should
But why?
strive to end our lives.
Why is there no meaning?
No.
Because there is no end.
That's
Pick
not
your
what
words
I'm
more
saying.
wisely.
Because you're saying that life is rendered meaningless because it ends.
No, I'm saying life is rendered
Life is
meaningless
pointless
because of
because of
other people's points. The points that people strive their lives for won't have meaning in the future. I'm saying I'm living my life because I want to be remembered. No one's going to remember you. I'm living my life because I want to progress this civilization. This civilization will die.
Although, because you say you want to be remembered,
People
You
will
would-
remember you in the short
yeah,
term.
you would be remembered.
Your children will be
Technically-
remembered until like 5 generations further,
See,
when
you
all
would achieve
information
that.
will be lost. Because
You'd
all
achieve
information
that
is always
technically.
lost. You
So
will
then you
achieve
would
it in the
have-
short term. Everyone achieves
Yeah.
these things in the short term
It's
if they
redundant.
succeed.
If you were to see it in the long run,
It's a
like,
redundant. It's a
you want to
redundant
be
claim.
remembered forever, that would be different.
It's a redundant claim, honestly.
Literally,
Saying
every,
Explain
all of
it.
would.
Stop just having these claims without your explanations. Your claims are redundant.
It's redundant because it's a criticism of something that no one should care to criticize.
Except the people who
like-
care to criticize it. That
Okay,
right
but
there is
why would
redundant.
there be a reason? Why would there be a reason then for you to say that
Because
life has a
you're
meaning?
saying because I'm not pretending that it's point. Oh, not even actually. You know what? I agree that there is in a sense there is nothing in.
Dude, stop being so redundant right now. Stop.
In the end.
Literally,
agree
all of
there's
this.
I
There's
agree
no
that there's
point.
nothing in the end term, but saying that's redundant, it does nothing for us. It does
Saying-
nothing.
But did-
It
did
really
you literally
doesn't.
just
Saying
say
your
it
point
was-
of life does nothing for us. This is...
Yeah,
sa-
that, okay, you saying that would be redundant too.
in essence, we're
Exactly,
saying right now...
This is what I'm fucking saying.
So
Literally
everything is redundant.
Literally
Everything is redundant.
There's no point. to
Or,
anything.
vice versa,
Lit-
there's no point in life.
No, you're misunderstanding
No,
it
that
completely.
would literally-
You're
that would
miscommunicating
mean-
your point,
No,
Mo.
that would mean
I'm-
what
I'm
you're
saying
there
that-
is no
I'm
point to anything.
There's no point in saying anything, so don't say it. That's what
No,
you're saying right now.
That's not
Exactly.
what I'm saying.
No, that's exactly what you said though.
I'm saying that saying life is pointless does nothing. It does nothing for us.
And
It does
saying that there
absolutely
is,
nothing.
and saying that there is something is pointless.
Saying that there is a purpose in life does nothing for us. In what terms are you saying it does something for us? How does this digress us?
As a
or how does
species, as a
this
fucking
progress?
as values, as human values,
But
it,
What
how?
values?
it doesn't matter to us.
But how? Eventually it'll just end. It'll go away. Gone.
That
Your
doesn't
goals
matter
don't
to
matter
us.
to me.
It doesn't matter to human life.
Your goals
does-
don't matter to me. Only my goals matter to me if we're talking about human values.
What?
Everything anyone else says, oh, my purpose in life is this. That doesn't matter to me. That's not part of my values. What matters to me is
your
what matters
value
to
is
me.
that to not care about anything because it's all gonna end.
Sure. If you're talking about human values, how it has no point. Anyone else's point has no point to my point,
Oh,
because
that's
that's
so
my human
silly.
value. It's silly to you, but that has no value to me.
It's just so silly. It's
It
just
might be silly to you.
Why though? Why though? Why?
Because it doesn't match up with your values.
it's
that's
not
why it's
it's
silly.
not even that. It just
What is it?
I
And what
can't
is it?
see any value in it.
Why
Because
not?
you can't see any of your values in my values.
I just
No, that's what you're saying.
I can't
Objectively.
That
Objectively.
objectively, there is no efficiency
Are
out
you
of
using
saying
objective
that.
ironically, or
There's no efficiency in telling us what your values are. There's no efficiency in anyone saying what their
But I'm
values
not
are.
the one criticizing that everything's pointless.
But
you
you're
guys are.
criticizing.
you're criticizing that
People-
what we're saying is pointless,
Yeah,
Because it's a criticism.
which is
of
pointless.
which is pointless.
And then that
In
was
essence,
pointless.
everything is subjective. Thank you, everyone.
Now here's the thing. You're using your logic that
You're
I'm
using
saying
your
doesn't
logic.
work on me when you think that I think that logic works when I don't.
You're gonna have to say that at least 3 more times.
What?
Can we just be okay? Can we just agree that none of us agree with each other?
I agree with you.
I agree with you guys.
Like, then why are you arguing?
But you don't agree because you're
No,
objectively wrong.
I agree in the sense that it is pointless.
Okay,
And
you heard
no,
it.
I know.
You heard it here. He agreed.
No.
He agreed with it. We're done. We're
Mistwork,
done.
mistwork.
You're done.
Mistake. I agree in the sense that everything will end and that nothing is essentially nothing matters in the end. However,
and yet earlier you said everyone strives for an end.
That I don't think that I don't think it should be. How do I say this? That's not. It doesn't matter. I don't think. That point doesn't matter.
The point that nothing matters doesn't matter.
Yes.
And to us, the point that something matters doesn't matter. It's all subjective.
But that's kind of why I have a problem with that statement, because it criticizes itself. Because
having a problem with that
can't
statement is having a problem with human.
No, because you can't say that
humans.
Something matters doesn't matter if you don't think that nothing matters doesn't matter.
You can't say that something matters. You can't hold on. You can't say that something matters doesn't matter.
You can't say that something matters doesn't matter without thinking that nothing matters doesn't matter.
What? One more time.
No, it's because you can't say that something matters has no meaning unless you believe in a meaning.
You can't say that something matters has no meaning if you don't believe in nothing having no meaning. Do you get what I'm saying?
Wait,
no,
why?
You're making it
though?
way too complicated than you need to.
So we can't say that something has no meaning if we truly believe that it has no meaning.
No. That's not at all what I fucking said. I'm saying that. God, this is so hard to. This is
maybe because your point is wrong.
You don't even know what I'm saying right now.
I know you don't either.
Do you know what you're saying?
I'm trying to word it as easily as possible here.
You're failing.
So, my criticism.
So perpetual motion
is that your criticism
is wrong
of the meaning of life criticizes itself. So what's the point?
I mean, there is no point. That's why we said there is no point.
But if you think that there is no point, then there is no point in saying there is no point. It's so stupid.
You're right.
It's just.
Why is it stupid?
It's stupid. It just doesn't. Why? It's silly to me. Like, what's?
Why is that silly though?
There's no point. But also, hear me out. There's no point in saying that there's no point to saying that there's no point.
But I don't. But I'm not the one who believes that there is no point.
But I'm the one who believes that saying there's no point to saying there is no point has no point.
But that's the problem, because saying that also has no point.
It's a loop that performs a double negative, then a triple negative. So saying that there's no point to this infinite loop that has no point has no point.
The only reason it has no point is because you believe it has no point. So what's the point of saying it has no point?
Just because you believe you believe that there's no point doesn't mean that you believe in a point of life. If you believe that there's no point, then you believe there's no point. Saying you believe there is no point doesn't mean that there's no point in saying that you believe there's no point. This is cancer.
This is so fucking stupid.
This is cancer.
God. I really love this.
I hate that.
No, you don't. No one does. None of us like this. This hurts us. We are dying.
Listen.
You're killing us.
It's just. I think it's a silly thing. I think it's silly.
It is silly.
It is silly until you realize that it's not silly, and then you go around the loop again and realize that it is silly, and then you go around the loop again and realize
but you're
that it's
misunderstanding.
No, I don't think you understand the infinity of this.
Silly because you believe there is no meaning. If you believe there is meaning, that loop ends.
It's silly to you, but it's not silly to us because we don't believe that there's a meaning and believing that there's no meaning to the fact that there's no meaning.
That's why it's an endless loop of meaninglessness.
Yeah, so it's silly,
that's
and
why,
it's also
that's why
not
I think
silly.
It's silly. That's why I think it's silly.
See...
Well, the fact that you think it's silly doesn't matter.
Okay, wait, no. Okay, see, the fact that you believe that there is no point would mean that you shouldn't have brought something.
You're part of this loop, aren't you?
You're causing.
You believe there's no point, but you don't believe that there's no point. I don't understand what you're trying to.
I agree that everything will end, but I believe there's a point to human life.
Exactly. So you're saying that. Okay. So you're saying there's no point to saying this because we have no point.
I believe people can have a point, but conventional points are redundant.
I believe. Wait, what, Dan?
I believe that you can have a point in life. Like having a point in life that says, I want to make the people around me happy. You can do that. In the end, there is no in the end, this doesn't matter, because you did that. You would make the people around you happy. Now, if I believe I want to be remembered for all time, you're never going to be able to do that. There's no point in trying to do that because it's impossible to achieve. But if you say, I want to make my children good people, you can do that.
But I mean, your argument was that there's no value in anything.
No, my argument is that there's no value in the conventional values of life. Like, I want to be remembered. I want to make society better. I guess you can make society better in your lifetime, and you can be remembered in your lifetime.
I'm pretty sure when people say that they want to make society better, they don't forever, Dan.
Well, they don't. Why would you want to make something better if it's just going to crumble eventually? Why would you add another domino if you know the thing's just going to fall?
Because you could improve the life of the people living there at the time. Everyone, no one thinks
that's the general
like
assumption,
that, Dan.
Though. That's the general assumption that everyone wants everyone else to be happy.
Okay, you're talking about something else, Diego. What?
No, I agree with your point, Momo. I agree.
Wait, what?
But I respect people more when they're thinking more realistically, not in the terms of I want to be remembered. Why do you want to be remembered if it's only momentarily, I guess. But again, my original statement that why would you want to make people happy? Making people happy, they're gonna die anyways, but they might as well die happy. That is at least respectable to me. But I can't wrap my mind around people saying I want to be remembered if they don't want to be remembered forever, because it's impossible to be remembered forever.
I don't know, Dan. It's just I can't really answer that because I can't speak for the people who think like that.
I want to do as best as I can do in my lifetime. Whether that leaves a lasting effect, I know it's not going to be important. I just want to see what I can do.
I simply wish to enjoy myself.
What a podcast.
That was interesting.
It wasn't bad, I don't think.
No, I enjoyed it.
The name's Momo. I'm the objective one.
Alright, so in essence, what you can take away from this shitty podcast is that we are objectively correct.
Better than all of you.
Better than all of you. Always right. Your opinions don't matter. And,
life doesn't matter, but that's a criticism of itself.
Alright, shut up. Don't bring this up again, please.
You want me to bring that up again?
No, that's the opposite of what I said, actually. Alright, fuck off. We're going. Bye. Hope you enjoyed, which you probably didn't.
I didn't.
Yeah, me neither.